Yo, 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 everybody, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome, Rebirth. Hindsight is 2020, the prologue. This is it. If whoever decides to watch is great. If not, I'm doing this for me, and hopefully throughout this, I can help somebody out. The gist of this is my birthday today. I'm 25. I don't really need per se anyone to tell me happy birthday, but because I believe in God and God's granted me another year on this planet. You know, uh, I come from a place where I used to want to commit suicide. I'm gonna cut right to it. I used to want to commit suicide. I didn't want to be here for sure. I would rather have been disemboweled or lost, whatever, anything, just to be off of this planet. So the fact that I'm still here right now, it means something. So if you're here, you watch any portion of this live stream, I appreciate you. You matter personally, and I'm not gonna let any portion of this time go to waste. So this will always be here. So we'll get right into it. So as you know, I'm Dr. Léon. My name is, Deontay Robinson. You know me if you grew up around me, but if not, grew up in Aurora, Colorado. From that point, I was actually, born in Denver, grew up in Aurora, Colorado. You know, I went to a lot of elementary schools. Went to Ponderosa, went to Prairie, went to Overland. You see me around. I've worked at, McDonald's, Taco Bell. I've worked at King Supers. I've worked at Elages. I've worked at, Floor and Decor, Faison. So I've been around. And disclaimer, this isn't putting all those places on blast in terms of I'm not affiliated. It's just where I've been at. So we're just going to go with that. So with that being said, without further ado, let's hop into it. So firstly, this is my grandpa, you know what I'm saying? That's an older picture. I remember I did a little collage for this in school, growing up. That's showing you where I come from. The thumb line on that is the thumbnail, excuse me, is me and my grandma. And I didn't get to meet her too much. I'll hop up into that a little bit later. But excuse me. But that's where I came from. My pops, he's 62 now. I came from him. My mother, I'm not sure. I'm not here to bag on her, there's a lot of stuff that happened that I wish that did not, but I mean, it helped my own personal development. So we're going to get into it a bit. So me as a little dude, that was me at my pop's place. I'm saying, if you haven't seen it already, this was when I was about 4 years old. That's my mother, So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through the list of kind of the things that made me rebirth. So this is what this event is about. It's about, what I've done from the beginning to the end to be who I am today. And also it's to help you too. I want the best for you. This is to help people grow. I want to change the world. I want to help people to become the best thing they could be of themselves. This is bigger than me. This is to inspire anybody. I hope you have people in your life that you want to be the best you can be for, and people that you want to help change. People that you want to. There's people you could help that I can't touch. There's people that you can reach that I can't. So I want to give you something, even if I could give just one person that. Even if I could just give one what they need to be able to change the world, that's all I want to do. I found my purpose, so I just want to do that. So it's not as structured as it should be, but it's it's that way for a purpose. So I'm gonna go through the list a bit. So this is me in 3rd grade. So this is around long. So the story of me is my mother had me. I'm a Tanqueray baby. I was a one-night stand baby. Nobody really planned for me. My parents weren't married. I'm sure some of you could relate to that, even if you cannot. I'd be happy to explain it for you. So, they did their thing, and I'm here. My pops, he was driving the truck at the time. He wasn't able to see me on my day of birth today, December 6th at 11 odd p.m. He wasn't able to quite see me as he wanted to because my mother kept him away. Now, why that is, I do not know. It is what it is, though. So, with that being said, I grew up underneath my mother until, with visitation rights on the weekend. And with that being said, never got to see my father too much. He always tried to be in my life. There's times, when I tried to give him a call, and my mother would take the phone away from me and hang up on him. I was scared of him at a while because, it's what I was around. I feel that association is everything. And with that being said, if a parent or anybody, especially a parent though, and I'm not going to say both parents aren't guilty of it, but parents have a really big influence on not only their child, but as well as people that are around said child in that situation. They have a great influence to be able to influence how people feel about a certain situation. So I was scared of my father because I didn't really know him, but because my mother told me bad things about him, that he did not want to see me growing up. He did not want to be around me. So, it's the general story of an African-American male. And this is not to say that no other race goes through that, but it's definitely a stereotype with African-American male and females that, the dad goes to the store and never comes back, right? He's coming right back, right? That type of thing, or just having a deadbeat dad that's not around for you in your time of need. And that wasn't a situation, but that's what I was led to believe. So I went through that, and elementary school came around and I didn't really see my father much. My grandma, who's in the thumbnail, she got cancer. And I never got to see her. I barely got to see my father as is. So when it was time to get to see her, I only saw her twice, I believe, 2 or 3 times. The other times I didn't believe. I don't remember I saw her too much. But the things I do remember is, I don't know if y'all remember like the Cocoa Pops, they're like yellow little Cocoa Pops. But yeah, I remember her doing that in the kitchen and, just being bad. I was a bad kid, I think me and my brother got spanked because we were so bad. But bless that woman's heart. But yeah, my mother personally used her, and my father wasn't putting up with that. And my mother used that as an opportunity to keep me away from her. So on her deathbed, when she wanted to see me, she couldn't, and she blamed my father for that. And I don't know what type of pain that man had to deal with. I really do not know, to not be able to see your son and to, be the, reason and fault that your son's kept away from your mother, that is her dying wish is to see him. And, the woman you slept with is keeping that away from her, I don't know. It's a strong man, but so what happened was there were some things that went on. He took his anger out on me. And again, I don't know. I can't blame him for that because I don't know how he would have handled that. I couldn't have handled that. So, that allowed me, my mother had to come pick me up from that situation. It wasn't the best situation I was in. There's a lot of borderline, can't say abuse, but it was a lot of anger thrown. Let's just say that I had to call my mother to pick me up, and that was the perfect opportunity for her to start pouring into me about negativity and a lot of other things. I know whoever's watching right now, somebody else popped in. Thank you. Whoever's watching right now, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad I could help you. And yeah, so she came and picked me up, and that allowed her to pour into me negatively and to just fully changed me into hating my father. So for a while I said I didn't have a father. So there was that. And going to third grade, that's when my father came back into my life. Apparently, there was Sandy and Jamie, thank you. Any social worker that played a part, thank you. I have a huge history in Cherry Creek school districts on just the whole legal battle between my father and my mother. And for my mother, you know, I can't, like they say, you don't forgive, like don't forget, but forgive, right? I give everybody opportunity. My phone is right here. She can call me anytime during this live stream. That's her chance. And, if she could sit here in front of everybody and be like, and apologize and, just be human, be transparent. Everyone makes mistakes. I understand that she was 14. I don't like releasing diss tracks at all. I don't like disrespecting people. I don't like the fact that I had to drop a diss track against my mother. I don't like that. But as you will see, I'll show you a couple pictures, but what she has done to people and what she has done to me and my family, how am I supposed to react? What am I supposed to do? So it's my phone's right here. She could give me a call anytime. If she doesn't give me a call today, she didn't show up when I got a restraining order against her. So I don't expect her to show up here, but hey, it is what it is. So thank you, Sandy. Thank you to Child Services for keeping an eye on me, because who knows where I'd be if I was still with her. Dead in jail or doing something. Maybe I would have figured it out. There's maybe a slim possibility I would have figured it out, maybe after jail or something, and been on track. But there's a big possibility I wouldn't have, and that's probably why social services was watching me. And they're watching me to the point where, I didn't know this, but probably because I blocked it out, but she dropped me off, at Child Services and left me that night. And my pops had a decision whether to come get me or I would go and be in foster care. So he did what a father would do and came to get me. So despite this relationship we had growing up, I thank him. That man has been really strong. So let's go through the list. Let's get a little more organized, and I'll show you a couple things. But going from this is when my pops got custody of me. I know the outfit's kind of weird, but that's that's when he got custody of me right there. But moving forward with that, as soon as my pops got custody of me, we started going through legal troubles with, who's going to get who's going to have custody over me. And my mother would stalk me, plain and simple. And I wasn't okay with that, but I still loved the woman. I did stuff like I gave her my address because I felt that she would have did right by me. And the relationship I had with her, I still loved her. Despite what my father was saying, I was starting to get conflicted because he was telling me different things than she was telling me. She told me that we didn't have enough money and we couldn't afford anything. And we were pinching pennies. We could barely have stuff to rub together. We were going to food drives and churches, and we were going to various different places for, people that are barely hanging on to get, I don't know if y'all remember the cans of apple juice and orange juice, like in the cans, big round cans. And it would just be the generic orange or apple juice. We would get that. We would get cereal from there. We barely went to the store. She did what she could. She did what she had to do, besides smoking, doing weed and stuff. Again, like a little perspective on her. She was 14 when her mom died. So that's traumatizing for sure. And she grew up with a lot of family members that didn't really care for her. So there's a lot of mental battles that she had to go through. And, I can't say how I would have handled that either. I know she had a therapist, so I don't know what she never included me on that. All she included me on was that basically she wasn't in fault for anything. So I don't know the story. I don't even know my health history. I don't know what that side of the family has. So I just have to, pray and take care of myself. Hopefully I don't get anything like that. But moving on, yeah, she stalked me a bit. Here's a couple photos of that. She had a red PT Cruiser. That's the red car right there. She would stalk me every time I came home from Pops would take me to before and after school care, because he had to do his thing. I came with him. He was driving a taxi. That's the only thing he could do to sustain our level of life, was that. So, we did what we had to do, but I knew I would notice the same car in the parking lot nearly every day. I think the only days we didn't have to worry about that was the weekend. And when we didn't have to worry about that on the weekend, we wake up to a boom, boom, boom on the door because of a wellness check, because she felt that I was being abused. So we never really slept good, because we always wondered, when's the next time we're going to, somebody's going to bang on the door. So, but, I had her take a picture of me. I don't know if you could see that well, but I had her take a picture of me, a few of them, because she said that she misses me, right? So I want her to be able to see who I, have pictures of me growing up. Excuse the glare. I'm trying to get you in there, but I was scared. I was scared to the most. I knew. I don't know how Pops would reacted if he found out. I was just trying to do what I could to keep that relationship, because that's my mother, right? That's my mother. So she can't do wrong. So, and I mean, I knew better looking back now, because she stalked me when we grew up. There was one time we were sitting in the car. It was when my Pops had a house up in Green Valley, and we were sitting in the car. And I forgot who else was in the car, but we literally sat outside his house for about 2 or 3 hours, just chilling, just watching. And I'm like, why are we doing this? What's the point? At this point, I hated him. So I'm like, why are we even doing this? What's the point? I just didn't think she would do it to me, though. So that's that. I'll skip ahead a little bit and show you this. This is when she got a white Mercedes Benz, and she stalked me for more time. I don't know how long she stalked me for. I really do not know. I mean, I knew she hired private investigators, and I talked about it in some of my music, but we didn't tell her anything. I told her the first time. After that, when we moved, I didn't say anything, and she still found me. So I don't know if you've grown up with that. That is scary. That's scary. I don't know how else to put it. You walk everywhere. You don't know who's watching you in your apartment complex. She would talk to the kids that I grew up around. She would talk to the people at school that I was with and tell them that I'm brainwashed, that my father's doing this, that, and the other. And that man wasn't perfect, but what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do when he has social services down his back? He has the court system down his back. He's driving a taxi. He can't do what he wants to do. And I mean, we could go to the sentiment of, yes, he created that. And I have a sister named Lisa, allegedly, that I never met. And I wish I want to meet her and Victoria. That's her mother, I believe. I would like to meet them. And that's one of his biggest regrets, is not being able to, be there and take advantage of that. So he's done above and beyond, more so than what other people would do for me. So, just the sentiment that he didn't do nothing is ridiculous. But I couldn't, and being black, and his skin, he's Creole, so I'm Creole too, but his skin color is lighter than this. You know what I'm saying? It's lighter than that. So he got critiqued a lot for being too black to be white, too white to be black. I experienced a little bit of that because just because I'm weird. I'm weird. I like, anime. I like other stuff, and I don't speak hood. I don't speak bad. I don't shoot people. I don't do any of that. And I'm not judging you if you do. You got to do what you got to do. But I was critiqued when I lived with my mother. I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and excuse me, I apologize about that. I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and I was bullied a lot because I couldn't couldn't dance like a black person. I couldn't do the C walk, the Crip walk. I couldn't. I knew the songs. I listened to them. I grew up around them, but I couldn't do the stuff they did, and I got critiqued by my own people for that. So I could relate to that man somewhat on what he went through. So yeah, it was moving forward. We had visitations. It was the child support area off of Alameda by Aurora Mall. I would go there after school, and it was like every Tuesday or something like that. And a social worker would take me. We would sit in this room, and it was about 30 minutes to an hour, and then she would drive me back to school. So sometimes it happened around 1, 2. So I had enough time to get back to before and after school so Pops could pick me up. And, it went good sometimes. My mother, I was raised on like China Chef. I don't know if you ever been to that, but it's just like this kind of rinky-dink place. Again, disclaimer, I ain't trying to like do no bad reviews or anything like that. But, I was raised on that. I was raised on turkey bacon. I was raised on like food drive stuff. I was raised on, thin little skinny steaks and eggs. And, I had spaghetti and Alfredo from time to time. First grade, I think this is what was around when social services was starting to watch me. She had to tell me like, hey, tell them at this interview that you had Alfredo. Like, tell them that. I'm a kid. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about other stuff, I'm thinking about other stuff. So I did not tell them that. I told them that I had hot dogs for dinner. That didn't help the situation, but I mean, hey, so we have visitation, right? She messed that up. She'd bring China Chef to the meeting. She'd bring like some candy and some stuff like that. She messed that up. She cussed this lady out. One of many. She cussed Jamie out. Jamie was one of my social workers, and she couldn't even continue to be one because she would cry all the time. My mother would verbally tear apart these people that had nothing to do with the situation, and I feel for them. I pray for them, and I hope they're doing okay. It hurts, so she messed that up. Then we moved to, it was another family support thing off of Iliff and Wabash. I believe that's how you pronounce that. But it was Saturday, so I would spend a Saturday with her. We would go to her house and stuff like that. We would do some things, and we would be brought back to this little house, and then Pops would pick me up. But it was different times. They never met. It would have been cataclysmic if they did meet. But so, oh man, it's crazy. There's this girl named Rory, and she cussed her out too. She cussed her out too, made her cry. And it's like, I just don't know. I don't know how you have that much evil in your heart to do that. I don't know. But she ruined that too. With that being said, we're going to move into middle school. So, I mean, the one thing I forgot is that elementary school, 4th grade, there was a court hearing that was really imperative that I spoke up against her on. So we get there, and basically I'm one-on-one with the judge. I'm scared. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. I'm supposed to say that like this woman's been stalking me, and I don't know, because I'm hearing stuff from her all my life that this dude is so bad, and it's even to a point like I'm taking it out on him as kind of revenge. And there's times I took advantage of him too, because I took advantage of his kindness because, I wanted to get back at him. But he was showing me black and white, every month, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars went to this woman. Every month. And I don't know where the money went. And I was conflicted. I don't know, what am I supposed to say to this judge when I grew up hearing one thing, and I'm getting proof on everything else. So I'm in the middle. And Pops didn't like me being in the middle, which I don't blame him. He understands that now. But being in the middle between two people duking it out that are your parents is hard as a fourth grader. So of course I didn't say what I needed to say for me to be able to get away from my mother, for Pops to get, you know, he got full custody at that point. That he did do, in terms of like, he already had full custody, but that kind of solidified it because he was also going to, you know, parenting courses, and he had to do that. That was mandatory. So on top of him like putting food on the table, he had to drive around to like Littleton and all these other places to take these courses, because if he did not, he would have lost me. I would have been out of foster home, or I would have been back with her. So that court hearing went by. She was yelling at us in the parking lot, you know, rambling nonsense to me and him, like she's gonna get us and stuff like that. And, you know, just going on the way home, like he was like, "What'd you tell the judge?" And I told him what I told the judge, and, you know, he was mad because like that would have been where we got free right there. But that is me trusting my mother. So we had to go through years more. So moving to 6th grade, this is starting to be the repercussions of me not fighting her then. So we got this pass here. And I don't know if you can hear me well. If you can't hear me well, please let me know. But yeah, so this is a little pass. Ever since, you know, I started in the legal system, I had to call my mother every Tuesday and Thursday. At first, it was a track phone. She got me a track phone with minutes on it, so she could kind of keep tabs on me with it. And that's what I called her with. And I would go into the before and after school area, and I would sit in this corner, if not the office, and I would call this woman. And I was court ordered. I had to do that. That's what I forgot is the dossier. And I'll show you that another time. But I have a book like kind of that thick of the times I called her. And yeah, so this basically was a pass for Prairie Middle School that I could go into the dean's office and give her a call every Tuesday and Thursday. Had to get it laminated, and I just wore it on my ID because, you know, and look kind of goofy with it because that's what I had to do. And here's another one. I think this is the one. This is 6th to 7th grade, and this one that I showed you is 8th grade. So there's that. And that went in conjunction with all the visitations and all that. It's a whole story. It's a whole story. But anywho, so we go, we're going to go with 8th grade. It was January 1st, 2008. And that's when this came into play. She was stalking me in 7th grade, and we talked about that. This is when this came into play, and a guy named Clinton came and knocked on our door and basically said that I played a part in her stalking us, and then that we were going to die in a shootout. I was going to get shot. My father was going to get shot. My brother was going to get shot. And she was going to die in a police standoff with their, like, you know, and that's what it was supposed to be. That's what he found out. Now, apparently they're both liars from what I've heard. So who knows who's telling the truth? And with that being said, you know, the whole side of her family, we had Kenneth and Brenda, you know, and if y'all ever get word of this, I apologize that you guys weren't able to be close. I'd say you two tried to fight her. The reason I didn't trust y'all is because of a couple reasons. The first one is, why didn't y'all say anything sooner? Because the first event was, I almost drowned at your place. I was saved by y'all. Thank you very much, because you didn't have to. And you got me a scooter, which she got mad at. And it's just, my question to that's like the Johnson family. My question is, what allowed y'all to be like, why didn't y'all say nothing? like y'all knew about her. Like Kenneth, you were one of her brothers she grew up with. You know, if she is I believe she's unstable, but if you believe she's unstable, why not say anything sooner? And maybe you did. I don't know. From what I saw, I didn't see you come back into my life until I was in 5th grade. And you, Brenda, and my pops tried to fight my mother. And y'all showed up to my continuation, and I thank you for that as well. I just didn't feel comfortable. And you guys didn't pressure me on that. And I appreciate that. I just couldn't talk with y'all because of that. It's kind of the same association with my aunt, Auntie Pete on my father's side. I always wanted to talk to her just because there's a lot that Pops went through. You know, my grandma Rose was raped. And you know, my grandpa that I showed you, he had a lot of people on his side, and my grandma had a lot of people on. You know, she had the rape situation, and she had kids on her side, but my grandpa, you know, kind of said like, "Hey, we're not gonna allow that." Julius was his name. We're not gonna allow that child to be a part of this family. So he was ostracized from the family, and you know, he died, and my aunt waited like 2 or 3 years to tell him that. So I was kind of like, you know, it's stuff. It's the same reason why I didn't talk to her, and she like left town before saying anything, you know. And a lot of people would debate like, why am I saying this? So I'm telling you what. I'm not telling you everything I know. I'm not going to tell you everything, but I am going to tell you stuff that I feel is imperative for you to know. Like, we got 3 hours of time. I'm not expecting whoever's watching. Oh, whoever just joined, thank you. We're cutting kind of deep, so if it's kind of heavy, I apologize in advance. But we're talking about some pretty deep stuff at the moment. But yes, my aunt. It's just, if you don't put my father in the obituary as a son, you put him as a caretaker. That man was there for her more than anybody else was, you know, and that's screwed up. And I just don't know. I just don't know. Like I just don't know. So that's basically the same reason why that happened, and that's a whole story I won't get into. But that's why Kenneth really relates to my Uncle Kenneth and Aunt Brenda, was because, or anyone on that side of the family, it's just, if you let that happen for that long, what makes you think I can trust you? I couldn't trust you. So, but I thank y'all for everything that you did. I appreciate that. We'll move on from that. Basically, the court hearings from that didn't help. They didn't win. My pops tried to fight my mother. So we've gone through Denver County, Adams County, and Arapahoe County. We went through all 3 of these things, and I think Arapahoe County is primarily where we're at. But we went through all 3 counties to fight this woman. Still didn't win. Nothing worked because I didn't speak up, right? So Clinton, like, basically dirt. We received dirt that he did his dirt. Thank him for his service, but we did all that, and we never heard from him again. So then we go into high school, and high school is basically where I was loosely calling her. I had my own cell phone at that point. I would star 60. I always star 60. Was it 69? Or is it star 67? I always star 60. Whatever makes your number private. Whoever just joined, thank you. We're just talking about my life kind of up to this point. Appreciate your time nonetheless. But I would star 69 to call this woman every Tuesday and Thursday. And from that point is I would use my cell phone for that. So I used that all throughout high school. She would either pick up or she wouldn't. At that point, I was starting to become pretty numb after the whole Clinton situation, where, you know, I was becoming pretty numb. So I didn't want to talk to her. I was starting to hate her. I carried a big resentment towards my mother for that. So I did what I had to do. And truth be told, there was times I did not call because I did not want to. I didn't feel it should have been court obligated for me to call somebody that I did not want to talk to. I think this whole court system is screwed up, and I hate that kids have to go through this. I hate that. And I used to did not want to adopt, but just for that reason alone, just to like save some kids from that system. No one should have to go through that. No one should not have to go through that at all. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit to one of my exes. I'm not going to say any names here, but I dated her throughout high school. If you know, you know. Essentially, she stalked. I don't know how much she stalked her, but I never told her about my personal life besides what she already found out about herself anyway. So we're talking on the phone, and she just brings her up one day. And I'm like, at this point, that person's kind of my universe, which I'll get to later. But, I felt like, hey, if you mess with this woman or her family, like, it's going to get bad. Like, and I literally told you, like, you're going to have all my attention. Like, forget school, forget anything else. Like, you're going to have my attention. I was like, do not touch that person. I was like, you could do what you've done everything to me already. You've done everything to my father and my family, but do not bring anybody else in here. So that happened. 12th grade came, graduation came. I never sent her an invitation. When I was playing basketball, I'm going to name drop this one. Marquise, what's up, bro? Miss Johnston, I think she was in Prairie. Met my mother at Walmart and, did her usual stuff, told her that, I'm brainwashed. My father did this, that, and the other. Did that. And basically, she took a picture of me at the banquet. It was 2010. I was a sophomore, took a picture of me at that. And I that was me still being nice. Like, hey, I still don't want to see you, Mom, but hey, I'm going to go ahead and let this woman take a picture of me and send it to you so you can see how I've grown without you. So that happened. But not before this, my mother shows up at a basketball game. How does that happen? We know how that happens. But, at that point, I think Miss Johnston stopped interfering at that point. And my mother, by that point, probably already talked to other people and how to connect inside. So I did not want her in my basketball game. It was Cherokee Trail versus Overland at Cherokee Trail. I seen her in the stands, and before I was infuriated because I'm still getting stalked by this woman. So I go to the locker room. I come back. She's gone. And I light her up on the cell phone. She doesn't pick up, of course. But fast forward to graduation, I see her up in the stands. She got an invitation somehow. So it's a situation of you give an inch, someone takes a mile. I've given this woman so much of me and so many chances to redeem herself. And she's really selfish, So I just wanted to go through this path of why I am the way I am a bit before I start getting, hopefully you could take something from that. So yeah, we go to the year after that where I finally decide to get a restraining order against my mother because I was finally served papers by her finally, as somebody in the complex was watching me the whole time. And that woman, along with my mother, served me papers. I followed them. We took pictures. It's on my Facebook. It's around when I deleted it and re-added it. It's in the beginning. So you'll see those two people in my Facebook. So basically me and my father both at this point, I had enough gas on me to be like, okay, we got to stop this woman. So I helped him get the restraining order against her because we had to fight a case where she wanted to sue us. Of course, she's wanted to sue a lot of people, but it's all public record. You can find out yourself. But she wanted to sue us and we beat that. I went to go get a restraining order with him. She didn't show up. He did the same courtesy to me. His was in Denver, though. He had to get one in Denver. I had to get mine in Arapahoe, and we had to initiate it by ourselves. So then he came to the final hearing where I had to stand up to the judge myself and get that restraining order against her. So, and I think at that time I had another ex, which I dated for a while, and, you know, ex engagement. So, and I appreciate her a lot because it takes a lot to show up. I still don't think she knew the severity. Maybe she did. I can't say that. That's not me to say. But for someone to show up at court for me without barely knowing me, to get into danger, a possible danger of that woman, my mother, huge respect. So thank her for that. But it was those two versus my mother. So my mother didn't show up to that. At this time, she moved to Georgia, allegedly. That's where she is now. And that was that. I have the restraining order. There's been a few times where she has tried to get back into my life in terms of appealing the restraining order, writing letters to say that, you know, it's not normal, that it's not deserved, blah, blah, blah. So that essentially is about it with my mother. So that's where I'm at. You know, it was about a year or two later. It was actually a few months later in the past where she found my phone number. I don't have it visible on my Facebook. I don't have it visible on anything. So even though it's not that tough to find something, it's kind of creepy if you have a restraining order on somebody and they find you still, you know. So she found my phone number. She calls me. This is Yolanda. I'm like, is this Deontay? I'm like, yes, it is. You know, this is Yolanda. And I'm like, who's that? This is the woman that gave you birth. I tell her, you have some nerve calling me. She says, I'm sorry you still feel that way. But it's the mind game. See, because like I feel like I've been a bad son to both my mother and my father. And that's why a lot of the reason I wanted to commit suicide growing up is because I didn't ask to be here. I didn't want to be here at all. I was getting made fun of. I was getting bullied, the whole nine. So I was like, there's no point in me being here if I don't want to be here, number one. And number two, I'm getting bullied. And number three, I'm in the middle between two people. No, I didn't want to be here for that. Not at all. So, but, so yeah, I went to the cops at that point. I had her phone number. She added me on Facebook. I'm like, here, this should be enough information to do what you have to do to get it. And I mean, that even takes a step for me to go do that. You know, I feel like I'm stretched. Whoever just joined, thank you. We're just going through some stuff. If you have things to do, that's fine. I appreciate your time. We're just talking about some deep stuff. But it takes a step to go and try to put your mother in jail, you know, after all you've been through. And even with that, it still wasn't enough. You know, basically they didn't have enough information. The police officer gave her a call. She denied, of course, that it was her that gave me a call, despite the restraining order. And from that point, we went ahead and we just called it quits. So with that being said, it was like, what else was I supposed to do besides drop the track? So call me what you want. Call me, put me in line with Eminem, even though I understand where he's coming from somewhat, even though it's still different. But like, there's not a lot of people that are willing to go that length to stop their mother. So still no phone call. So there's that. So, I mean, it's public record. That's enough about that. If you want to see what, you know, Paula Johnson, Gina Booker, Paula Lamidi, Nash Johnson, Yolanda, whatever. She's probably going to change her name 5 million times. But that woman there, I don't want anything to do with. Please do not give her any information about me. I mean, granted, this is public, right? So she could watch from afar, but do not give her any information and get close to me. I don't want anything to do with her. I forgive her because I can't have that weighing on me anymore, nor do I want it to. But I forgive her and I wish the best for her. Just when her funeral happens, I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to show up. So with that being said, let's move to my father. Great man, You know, he did what he had to do. And I'll probably address that in music later. There's not much to say about it, but though imperfect, I couldn't be the man I am today, standing in front of you, without that. Good and bad and ugly, I couldn't be here. So please respect that, man. He had to, he went back to school when I was going to school and, screwing up. And I didn't get my degrees. Oh, to the two people that joined, thank you. Appreciate your time. If you have things to do, it's just going to take a lot of time. But this live stream is going to kind of expand along a couple hours. So feel free to dip out when you need to. I understand that I'm not the center of your life. So I just appreciate your time. But yeah, my father, he did what he had to do. He went back to school. I mean, he fought my mother. He stayed. I mean, staying number one, for a parent these days is already just a blessing. Number one. Number two, just him being a role model for me and letting me know certain decisions to make and, telling me certain things. And I mean, he told me what he knew. He was I don't know if it was moonshine. Either way, my grandpa and grandma had him like when they were, I believe, like late 40s, if not 50s. They were old when they had him. So his siblings were already like 20. So like he didn't have really anybody to relate to. So, they just kind of had put him there on his own. So, he was taught how to be alone. And so he put a fire in me so bad because even though I have help now, and that's what I had to learn is that being fully alone is not worth it. Like I see that man and I see the stress in his eyes and the hurt in his eyes from being a single father and, dealing with 2 cases of child support. And I don't want to be like that. And I don't encourage anybody else to be. If you're happy with that, if you're content with doing that, then great. But I know he's not. And that's what I want to do. The dude's $20K in debt because he went to school and for ITT Tech. I don't know if you heard about that, but they went bankrupt. And basically, since he finished his degree, not only did they not help him get a job, but he's stuck in debt now. And like the government will not give him that forgiveness to do that. So that's what I want to do. And I mean, I want to change the world, period. I want to help people that can't help themselves. And I want to be able to give that man, the life that he deserves to have. He's 62. I don't know how much longer he has on this planet. I want to be able to give that man everything and more, and to be able to like have him dress in his suit. He hasn't dressed nicely because he doesn't feel he deserves it. He doesn't feel that he deserves a good life, So before he leaves this planet, I want to give him that. At least, if not, let him see like what I'm doing and that he did his job for me. So that's what I want to do. I at least hopefully I can meet my sister and my my stepmom, that he hasn't seen in like since he was 18. So, but if not, hey, but those are kind of some of my dreams that I want to do before he leaves this earth. So, with that being said, let's get into why we're here, why I'm here. So I want to help you. The 3 people that are watching, I want to help you. I want you to get something from this. Anything. I like who's important in your life. Who is counting on you? Like what cause do you want to contribute to? Like what do you want to help? What do you want to change? You have something out here that I don't have, that no one else has. You have a set of ideas and ideals that I don't want you to go to the grave with and forget what I think. You should not want that for yourself either. What are you doing? What you truly feel that you can do for this, for this universe, for this planet, for the, if you're not like, let's think besides what we want. I'll use myself as an example. So I wanted to be a race car driver, a basketball player, and an engineer. I wanted to be, okay? With 2 reasons with that, why that is incorrect. One is I want for me. It's I want that. What would have that done to change the world? Okay. it's besides a tool. Like, yes, sure, I could have used that as a tool, but besides that, I've always been a people person. I've always wanted to, find out about people and help them, but I felt I couldn't do it with that. With engineering, that's what my pops wanted me to do. With all due respect, I didn't want to do that. So what I want to do, is put myself as a martyr, if you will, and put myself on Front Street, and I have mixtapes and stuff like that, and putting myself out here because I feel that it's going to help you three, if not anyone else. Just like, you can do it too. 2020 is coming up. I'm not that special. I'm special. I feel like we're all the same people, but we're different. We all have our own thing. And I'm not that special. I'm not saying I'm in the same level as you. I feel like anybody that's here and I'm here, or vice versa. Like, that was my whole growth. That's been my whole rebirth, is putting myself on a even playing field with everybody, because we're all trying to figure it out down here. Have you ever wondered, why is the world so crazy? Like, why certain sicknesses aren't fixed? What do you ever think about why, we're doing jobs, right? Not saying a job, we all have a job to do. Please respect the janitor, I feel like respect the server, respect everyone. We all have a job to do. But I'm like, is this what life is supposed to be? Us working a 9 to 5 or overnight? I've worked overnight. I don't know what schedules you guys have had. Does it make sense that we do that for like 60, 70, 80 years, and then we retire, and then that's it? We enjoy our money when we're about to die. Is that right? Does that sound right to you? Does it sound right that we can't say yes to the people we want to say yes to because we're broke? Like, if, for example, my father, I can't get him any clothes, because I'm broke. Like, think about who's important in your life. Who can't you say yes to because of this money? I mean, personally, I've gone to Walmart. Do you see how many older people have gone to war, veterans even, or even if they're not veterans, they've put their time in and they have to go back to work because they can't retire. That's not right to me. That hurt. My soul hurts every time I see that. So I just want to inspire you, like, hey, go do what you want to do. Like, whatever you feel that like is gonna help you to be able to say yes to the people in your life, or if there's a community building or something, or any type of cause that you want to support, I want you to do whatever your purpose is, to where you can say yes to that, and you could, anonymous or not, and you could be that change. Everyone's trying to win the lottery. Everyone's trying to, me included. I mean, I stopped thinking like that a while ago, but I still would like to win a lottery. But it's like, why can't I be my own lottery ticket? Like, why can't we be our own lottery ticket? And why can't we be that change that we seek? We're worried about who's the president in the office, and I don't care what party you're associating with. I respect whatever your opinion is. But besides that, I feel this nation is worried about whoever's in that, the White House, instead of worrying about what's in their house. It took me going through, custody battle. It took me going through breaking people's hearts. I've had my broken. I haven't been the best friend. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been a bad person. I haven't been the best person. I haven't been the worst person either. There's times I've been a really good person, but I've been human, and I feel like a lot of this is dehumanizing out here. I feel like we're expected not to make mistakes. We look on social media, we see a perfect picture of what life is supposed to be like. We're distracted. Sure, football is cool. No one can really, I can't tell you. If you can tell me, excuse me, but who won the Super Bowl 7 years ago without Googling it? Does it matter really? Does it matter about the Kardashians? Does it matter about, we're more focused on these celebrities when we have our own superpowers. We have the answer. You know, like regardless of what you believe in, I believe in God, but even that is a whole nother situation, because like religion is, we are all people. We love who we love, you know, regardless, you know, we are who we are. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Denver, Colorado, my man. Yeah, US, Denver, Colorado. I don't know if you heard of that. Where are you from, man? If you could type that love to wherever you are on that. And Rashid, I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't pronounce that right, excuse me, but greetings to you, my man. But yeah, I'm just like, Philly. What's up, man? I'm trying to go to Philly. It's that's what's up. I'm trying to go to Philly to have a true Philly cheesesteak. You know, my me and my twin flame, you know, we want to go up. She had one and she said she raves about them. So I definitely want to go up there. I just want to travel to you know, explore the world. I feel like this world is so big, man. This is so big, and I feel like, you know, we're limited. I don't know if y'all have heard the story of like a horse, you know, that's tied to a chair. You know, like this chair, for example, a horse could pull that, you know, but there's a picture with the horse attached to a chair. Whoever joined, thank you. They left, but appreciate their time. But you know, you are what you surround yourself with, or a goldfish even being in a small bowl. They're not supposed to be in a small bowl, and I've been guilty of, you know, killing goldfish because they need more room to breathe. And it's like, if you're around association that is not going to uplift you, family or not, then you have to get rid of that. And I've been definitely a victim of that, of, you know, catering to a lot of people. When I, you know, when you're taking when you're in like an airplane, the first thing they tell you is to, you know, put oxygen on yourself, right? So I feel like, you know, I've been a victim personally of giving a lot of people stuff that I don't have to give. So with that being said, man, I personally have to like take a step back, and there's been a lot of times, you know, I'm 6'6", you know, I weigh 230, you know, I'm not the most fit, you know what I'm saying? I don't have the most muscle. I'm not the most lean, but I've been doing a lot of like soul searching. I've been doing a lot of mental, because I've been at a prime, you know, in terms of physicality before, but my soul wasn't fixed. So it didn't work, you know, because I ended up putting everything I had. The first girl that showed me love, I neglected myself to give her that, and to, you know, do that. And I always did that with a lot of people. And it's not to say not to be a people person, or not to give to people in need, but it's just, you got to make sure you have your own stuff first. So that being said, man, I appreciate your time regardless. You know, again, I'm gonna keep kind of going through my kind of childhood or whatnot a bit. So if you need to go, perfectly fine. But we are doing our thing, man. So growing up, let's see here. So it's me as a kid, you know what I'm saying? To the third person that joined, hi, how you doing? I realize this live stream is gonna go a couple more hours. So if you have things to do, I'm not the I know I'm not the epicenter of your life. So please stay as long as you would like. Your time is appreciated regardless. And Rashid, yeah, definitely. And it takes a lot to put yourself first, man. It really does. And it in a healthy way too. Because I've been unhealthy in the like put myself first in the wrong ways in a very unhealthy manner. So, you know, like basically saying like, you know, forget everybody, you know, with the middle finger raised up, you know, like it's, as much as it's cool to protect yourself, you end up hurting people too. In my experience, I've heard a lot of people from being just really me-centered in the wrong ways. It's just learning how to like care about yourself in the wrong ways and care about others in the wrong ways. Like, don't feel like you are taken away from yourself for other people. You know, if you feel like you're lowering your vibration and lowering your own being for somebody else, then you shouldn't be in that relationship. You shouldn't be in that association. But if that person you know, my pops always said growing up, if you have somebody in your life that you have $1 left and you could split that dollar between two people, you know, you and them, to buy some food or whatever, then that's the person you should ride with, you know, brother, father, mother, whatever, whoever's going to do that with you, or they would give their shirt off their own back to make sure you're warm. That's who you need to take care of. And it even goes to a certain standard though, because like for me to give my father what I want, I can't be around him, you know, like, because he supports me, but my journey to go to where I want to go isn't what he wanted me to go. He wanted me to go to school. He wanted me to, you know, do different things, go to school, get a master's degree. You know, I'm unsure your background, but that's what I heard. And, you know, when I went diverted from that path, you know, that received a lot of resistance from him. So, you know, sometimes it takes that and it hurts. Sometimes it takes backing off, even from the people you're close with, to figure out what you really want. You know, I had to, I've skydived, I had to jump out of a plane. You know, I went clubbing. I don't know if you've ever danced by yourself before, you know, like dancing by yourself, and, you know, you put yourself in an environment where you look silly, you know, because it strengthens that self-esteem that you have within yourself. For me personally, I can't say it'll do the same thing for you. You don't even have to do that. But what is something that you feel like that you've wanted to do, but you're scared of other people's input? Go do that. You know, that's helped me be who I am today because of that. So hopefully you take something from that. So either way, I appreciate you listening, man. So yeah, this is me as a kid, man. It's this show. I think this was me in like 5th grade, you know. But this is, I went to, you know, this is like where I'm from, but this is me in where's my 6th grade one? So this is me in 6th grade, right there. It's me in 7th grade, and then this is 8th grade. I didn't like my smile growing up. This is like definitely a period of time I didn't like my smile for a while. So I was covering my smile up. Let me see what time we got, 10:02. And this is when I was in high school. I think I was so sweaty because I came from football practice. But that was another thing. I played sports growing up too. And I was about 6'2" at the time. And, you know, I felt like I had to play sports. You know, like I got everywhere, man. Your height's good. You know, if I had your height, what I would do with that, you know, and just some other things too. Oh, what's up, baby? What's up, baby? That's my girl right there. But thank you for watching, baby. Yeah, man, I was supposed to play sports, right? I was supposed to play football, basketball, make it in the NFL and NBA. I feel like a lot of minorities are expected to do something. There's a lot of stereotypes out there. And honestly, I had to take a step back from basketball because I didn't know if that's what I truly wanted to do. You know, I didn't know if I actually wanted to play basketball or not. I didn't know, like, because everyone's saying you're tall, right? I'm supposed to be a center. I wanted to shoot the ball. I didn't want to post up. You know, football, I wanted to catch the ball. I didn't want to be a center, right? So even something as simple as that, man. Even something as simple as that, I had to peel back from that. So there's some things, and even video games, man, escapism, man. I use video games and pornography. I used even not even eating food. I use food and not eating food as a way to escape too. Once I turned 21, I put a lot of bad things on people that did drink before 21 or smoke before 21 because I was on my high horse. But yet I was sitting here masturbating like 5+ times a day to escape from everything. So, you know, I had to learn not to judge people too. You know, that's one thing that anybody watching now and that happens to watch this video, don't judge people. Just, you know, if anything, and if any, like I learned, you know, when you do this, like you got 3 pointing back at yourself. I feel like anything that you point on somebody else can be reversed, you know, and it can't. That's the biggest thing I've had to learn, is just to not, you know, put people up here. Like, don't put people up here, and don't put yourself down here. Like so many people put themselves like in different positions, and it's like, I'm your friend, man. You know, I don't know if I'm yours, and I, you know, with all due respect, I don't necessarily have to be, but for me to you, I just, you know, I'm your friend, and I want you to, you know, I want you to go change the world, man. I want you to go save your family. I want you to save your friends. I want you to save you, man. Save you. You can do that, you know, like, and like, don't waste your seed, man. You know, it's real easy. Pornography, something else, man. Like, it's free. You pick up your phone and it's right there. You know, social media is right there. TV's right there. But no one talks about meditating. Nobody talks about, you know, just being like, I don't know if you've ever taken a car ride with just silence, you know, just, and not even talking to yourself. I've talked to myself growing up a lot, because I felt like that's all I had growing up. You know, I had stuffed animals, and I love my stuffed animals even still, man. You know, I got like Mr. Froggy and stuff like that. But, you know, I felt like that's all I had. There was a lot of nights I held them and fell asleep crying, because I felt like I didn't have anything else. You know, I asked God, man, like, why am I here? You know, I could at least count on Mr. Froggy, right? You know, and I didn't complete anything really. I completed sports. You know, I got the participation award. Even I feel iffy about that, just because I feel like the society now has just put such a like stigma towards being lesser in something. Like, you know, everyone wins in something, everyone loses in something. Even with us, you know, guys, like, there's people that aren't gonna make it, like, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but it's there's a book called, like, I forgot what it's called, but I think it's a children's book, that you win and you learn. So you technically don't, if you choose not to give up, I feel like giving up is losing, but if you choose not to give up, then you just learn from it. Like, you know, I just got, you know, bamboozled out of $400 because I should try to get a cell phone off of Craigslist. I don't know if Philly has a Craigslist, but you know, I did what I could to try not to get shysted, but I got shysted anyway. So what did I learn from that though? Because I could sit there and, you know, play poor little me. I could sit there and be like, okay, I only got 2 people watching this right now. I want more. I could easily be like, I want more people, and neglect the 2 of you that are watching. I'm not going to do that. You know, for as long as you 2 are watching me, or even if no one's watching me, it's the 3rd person watching me. Thank you for showing up. If you got things to do, I have no, you know, problem with you leaving. I'm not the center of your life. You are. Please take care of yourself. Thank you for your time. But, you know, I don't want to ever neglect like who is actually, you know, actually caring about me enough to like pour into me like that. So, you know, I'm just going to keep throwing gems because I keep going through the time. So, you know, ask any question that you want. I'll throw an answer at you. If I don't have the answer, I'll point you towards another direction, man. But, or lady. But, yeah, I would show you, this is like my prime, if you will. This is like my physical prime that, you know, like when I had nobody left in my circle, quote unquote, like when the girl I thought was it for me, when she left my life, when my best friend left my life, when I had my grades, I never got good grades really, because that's not what I really wanted to do. And I'm not knocking education. Get your education if that's what you want to do, please. Like, if that's what you need to go change the world, please do that. For me, that's not what I wanted to do. So, but that was the, so yeah, my grades sucked. My sports, I was supposed to be good at basketball. That wasn't doing well. Pops was, you know, down my ear because he sacrificed a lot and I wasn't giving that back to him, you know. But see, the thing with that is, if you don't care about yourself, you hurt other people that care about you. including yourself. Like, you know, so for me, I can't speak for you three, but I didn't take vitamins growing up because I didn't care about myself. I didn't eat right. I didn't sleep right. I deprived myself. I abused myself. There's times I cut myself, you know, or was trying to solve myself, but I never wanted to commit suicide because, you know, I always believed that if I commit suicide, you know, I'm back in hell, and I believe hell is like this matrix, this earth, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's hell. I don't feel like we're just subjugated to this fiery pit for eternity. I don't think that's it. But I feel like we are here, we are given a level of consciousness, in my opinion, to figure it out, you know, because like, why is it that, you know, we connect so strongly with dogs and cats and, you know, birds and things of that nature, whereas you have, you know, other microorganisms in biology that only has a one-track purpose. Like, you think about a molecule and its only job is to like go and bounce off of other things. That's it. And you have, you know, bacteria that's only one job is to kill something or to protect something, you know. And as more conscious levels of consciousness happen, we get more to a position of excuse me guys, I'm probably gonna move this into another room once my pop shows up, just so he could chill. But we keep going up in levels of consciousness so we could figure something out. I feel like we're given the opportunity to like think about our actions, right? And I'm not saying you should use logic more than emotion. You know, I feel like we have ego for a reason. We have emotion. Like if you're in a situation, I feel like and you feel like you're in danger, there's a reason we have that. And I feel like there's a reason why if we look at a situation just logically, like let's look at weed, for example, there's people that are sentenced life for weed, but people that might rape or kill somebody, 5 years, 10, you know? So it's just like, why is it that we're given both? I want you to think about that. Like, don't forget what I'm saying. I want you to think about why are we able to think with that? And like with that, the universe has been here a mighty long time. We're only here for a really fraction of that time. Like, what are we going to do with that? You know, I was like, I forgot whose quote that is, but there's so many ideas in the grave. You know, just ideas that could have changed things. And I just don't want you three to be one of those people. I really don't, you know. And that's what I want this event to be about. Is it's not about me, you know. It's about people like yourselves that matter, you know. I matter, but I know that now. You know, I took that time to figure that out. You know, but I want you three to know that you matter as well. Y'all matter. Y'all are beautiful people inside and out, you know, imperfections and all. I want you to do that. I don't know if you've ever looked yourself in the mirror and just told you, you know, without any other influence, just been like, good job today. And it's something I need to work on too, but good job. I love you. You know, and it could be scary too. When you start meditating, and even just a silent car ride is meditation. Walking to work or any type of just silence is meditation. But be wary because there are negative energies. Like you could have negative thoughts like of just wanting to kill somebody all of a sudden. You could have negative thoughts of wanting to fight somebody, break up with somebody that cares about you, all that. And we're supposed to feel that, you know, like we're supposed to feel scared. We're supposed to feel nervous. We're supposed to feel frustrated, annoyed, angry, happy, sad. Like we're supposed to feel this array of emotions. We're not supposed to block that. And as a man, that's one of the biggest problems. And women, y'all are so strong. Y'all have your own set of problems too. And I'll hop into that. But men, like we are expected not to cry. We're expected to be stoic, which I mean, it's a natural quality that a lot of us have. And women, from what I've gathered, and I could be incorrect, but women have a better array of emotions and can feel each emotion stronger than men can, in my opinion. Men have a better ability to be stoic. But it's to the point now where men are expected not to show emotion and women are not expected to use logic. Like women are able to be engineers. They're able to go and be a chemist. I believe with discipline, they can run the nation just like a man can. I feel like with discipline, a man can experience every emotion like a woman can, and to be able to connect with women, and vice versa. I feel like we need each other. Men and women need each other. Men and men need each other. Women and women need each other. We all need each other. We're all segregated now. It's like, and I get that we all need our own time to be alone to figure it out. But I feel like everyone's just so on the track of forget everyone else. I'm gonna do me, that everybody is doing me. And look what we have now. Like, we have people that can't even drive a block without getting into a car accident. We have people that are getting shot. We have, I'm not gonna even talk about the whole pedophilia situation, but we got that now. And I'm just like, there's a time and place where you have to fight, like you have to stand up for what is right, and stand up for what is wrong. And there's sometimes we got to sit down, but I feel like we're just sitting down at the wrong times, and we're standing up at the wrong times for things that don't matter. For me personally, I get good at a game, Call of Duty. I get good at, video games and stuff, but it doesn't matter. If you're using that as a tool to that's going to give you money to help do what you're supposed to do in this world. If you make I don't know if you watch Black Mirror or anything like that, but if you make a video game that is going to change, that reaches the masses, that's going to touch people and teach them something, then hey, music, teach somebody something. Teach somebody, for this event. I'm trying to teach myself even, I'm digging stuff up, too, that I don't really talk about too much, but it's just teach yourself, learn yourself, read a book. You don't have to have school to read, and take what you need from every source. Take what you need from a book. Take what you need from what I'm saying. Take what you need from your parents and, your siblings, your friends, your enemies, even, and, keep a wall around yourself, and only let people in that association when they earn that. I'm so guilty of letting, I treat the people in my life that care. I'm better now, but I have a habit of treating people that care badly. And I have a habit of treating people that treat me badly. I treat them good. Why is that? And I don't know if y'all can relate to that. Excuse me. But I'm guilty of the same thing. So, moving on from that, I'm still going to give you gems, but I'm just going to keep moving forward with, just telling you about me a bit, and hopefully you can get something else from it. So I would say, so I've worked a lot of jobs, from fast food to, catering, doing all hospitality, to, just labor, to tech, to customer service. And maybe that's what you have to do. Maybe you have to take a year off of school after high school to figure it out. Maybe you have to just work to figure it out. Maybe you have to break somebody's heart to figure it out. Like me personally, I think the final step for me finding this, beautiful woman that you see in the comments right here is I had to really evaluate myself and put myself in uncomfortable situations, even dating people that I knew it wasn't going to work out with, just to get that out of my system. If you a lot of people, I feel, just settle. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you can't be yourself, I haven't been myself as much as I've been myself with that woman right there. And that's not to bag on my exes, okay? Because they can't control that. They can't control what I decide to put into it. But they can also pour into you to help you to be yourself. She could type if I'm wrong, but me being myself helped her be herself. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody in your life can't help you to do that, why are you there? You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you have to keep yourself on the back burner to appease somebody else, then what's up? Because that's what I did with my ex relationship. Is I wasn't fully who I was. I altered to her. She loved country music, right? I hated country music with everything I had. Promise that I made I made fun of country music all the time. Like, I hated country music with a passion, right? But it took me to be exposed to that different thing that I'm not used to. You know, like, I feel like we just need to understand each other, right? I don't know. You're on YouTube now or later. Despite your beliefs, you can type in this video of a TED Talk. It's this gentleman. It's a black gentleman, and it's the KKK master, right? And you know, just with that combination alone, you would think that why even talk about it? Why even associate it? But this African American gentleman played as if he was the white gentleman, just a white gentleman, and they set up a meeting, you know, to possibly, well, who knows what the contents would have been, but it would have been two Caucasian men talking, probably about joining KKK or something like that, right? Yep, no doubt, man, no doubt. I'm gonna type to him real quick. I apologize for the waits. Just want to let him know he's appreciated. So yeah, but you have the KKK individual and this black man, and with the history, I couldn't say like if I was in those times, how I wouldn't have like got hung or whatever, because I couldn't have done it. I don't know how my ancestors did it, you know, but and that's not just me, you know, there's like, you know, there's you know, Jewish people, gosh, so strong, you know, like Asian people, so strong, Native Americans, like the whole nine, Latinos, Hawaiian, like everything, all of that. Everybody has gone through some stuff, right? But you think about our history with America, especially, you think about these two things coming together. Why would this black man set this up? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would that happen? And they just start talking, and just to understand each other, like, and I feel like that's what we need, is just, we need understanding. Whoever just joined, welcome, appreciate it. I'm not the center of your world, so if you feel free to exit at any time if you feel that you're uncomfortable or you just gotta go. Thank you for your time regardless, it's appreciated. What we're talking about right now is there's a TED Talk. It's about KKK, the grandmaster of that, and African-American male. So they set this up, and the African-American male is, he just wants to understand the KKK member. And they actually go to the events, and they're around each other, and they, with no intention of changing the way the other person is going to think, with no intention at all. But yet, after about, I think, what was it, 5 years or so? I could be incorrect, but the KKK member ends up quitting and gives the guy his uniform. I think that's powerful, because it's just like, you might not agree with everything I'm saying. There's some things we disagree on, you know, but it's just like, let's understand each other. And I feel like so many people are quick to throw the hammer at the book at somebody without understanding where they're coming from, that it ends up causing a lot of rifts out here, you know. And I feel like that's what we need, is just we need to understand each other and just like give each other a shot. Like let's give each other a chance to just like be heard. I feel like a lot of us just want to just be heard, you know, whether I'm right and wrong. Like, I feel like I'm right for a reason, right? It's like, you feel like you're right for a reason. I just want to hear you out, you know. I just want to hear why you feel you're right. I want to hear why you feel you're wrong, even, or how you feel the way you feel. And then like, let's try to like mash that out and see if that's something we could change or not. And even if we can't change it, still there's respect had just listening to someone. And I had to learn how to do that, because I was all about me, you know. I was all talk, you know. And I was also on the other end of that. I just listened and I never said anything either. So I took a lot of stuff. Whoever joined, thank you for your time. But I took a lot of stuff when I shouldn't have, and I've also dished out a lot of stuff when I should have listened. You know, I'm not always right. I'm not always wrong either. I'm human. You know, I'm perfect at being imperfect. That's what I feel being human is. We're just trying to figure that out. So that's it. Follow me. I'm gonna go ahead and move into the room because I think my pops is about to come back in, and I just want to be able to like still be transparent with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and pack up, and I'm gonna go to my room, and we'll keep talking. You know, I'll hopefully spit some game. Hopefully you're taking something from it. So I appreciate that. Give me just a second. So whoever joined the chat, hello. Appreciate your time. You know, we're just chopping it up. You know, hopefully you can get a couple gems. I know you got things to do. It's a Friday in the middle of the day, so you know it's kind of a weird time for a live stream. I know, but you know, please feel free to stay as long as you want. I appreciate your time nonetheless, and we're gonna rock it. We are going to rock it. So. And please, if you have any questions, if you know me personally, or if you like open another tab, if you see anything on my profile, excuse me, I'm gonna close the door real quick. But if you see anything on my profile or anything about me that you have some questions on, or if you have a question in general, I'd be happy to answer it. Don't feel that, question's stupid. I feel like the only question that's stupid is the one that you don't ask, and sometimes even that's not stupid. Sometimes you shouldn't ask a question, but I feel like if it's really burning within you to ask it. You shouldn't feel stupid for asking the question. I feel like we don't ask enough questions and we don't answer enough questions, and we don't question enough answers either. It's just you gotta like take everything you can with a grain of salt. Like I love Tupac. I'm not gonna say I'm the hugest fan. I'm not gonna say I have every one of his CDs in his discography, but I will say I love a lot of his ideals, especially with music. If you can't hear me because of this fan, let me know. I think I'm still loud enough, but please let me know. Excuse me. But I love that he's like, whatever you're listening to, pay attention to your energy. Like, pay attention to your energy. How are you feeling? Like when you eat and when you listen, any one of your five senses that you take a part of, if you see something that makes you feel bad, question that. Like, question, should I feel bad right now about this? Or am I manufacturing that? If you feel bad, then what can I do about that to fix that? For example, I eat fast food, right? I go and I get, yesterday, I had a chocolate chip cookie. For breakfast, I went ahead and had 2 cups of tea, like green tea, and I believe it was apple hibiscus, vanilla. That's pretty good stuff. I had that and I had a banana for breakfast. I felt pretty good. And then I get to lunch. I have some chips. I start feeling a decline, nothing crazy. Then I have a chocolate chip cookie, and then my energy tanks. Why is that? Well, one could debate it's unhealthy. Perhaps. What's in the cookie, though? Like what's in the cookie? Is it high fructose corn syrup? Is it, who knows? We don't know what's in that cookie. I'm just saying, question what you're putting in your body. When they say you are what you eat, I feel like that's legitimate. That doesn't mean you're trash or anything like that. It just means you are what you eat because you feel that. Like we're a temple, like legitimately, and I'm taking it there because we are. Like I believe we each have a higher self. Like we have a superpower. You notice how like when you're doing what you love doing, like for example, I love talking to people, right? I love making people feel good with my own, having my own knowledge. So when I do that, I love laughing too. When I laugh, I'm gone. I love laughing. So like when I laugh, I don't really, I don't really care. I'm infectious, right? So it's like when you feel that and you feel like whatever you do and that inspires other people to just like be drawn to you, that's like what you should do. So I feel like with that, with what we have, I feel like it's limited. I feel like I'm less than myself when I eat bad food, when I don't work out, when I don't work out my mind. I feel like we don't work out our mind enough either. You know, like I couldn't play a line game because I'm like I was kind of high at the time, so it was like I can't really focus. I can't really focus, on that because it's my mind's gone. And I'm not saying getting high is a bad thing, but it's just like if getting high is bad for you, then don't do it. But being high for me personally has allowed me to tap into some stuff I couldn't tap in without it, So it's just like be careful with what you put in. But back to the food example, yeah, I felt like crap the rest of the day yesterday because I had a cookie. It's just one cookie too. But that's how it be. Sometimes you talk to one person and the rest of your day is bad. The rest of your day is bad. And you just like watch out who you're talking to. Watch out for who you're letting pour into you. Because it's literally association is everything. If you have on my bed right now, if I had a chocolate chip cookie, I'm probably gonna eat it because I like chocolate chip cookies, but I know what it's gonna do to me. So maybe you don't need to have that type of substance in your house. If you're trying to get away from something, like let's say you're trying to get away with social media, perhaps you need to be in another room from somebody that's on social media. Or maybe you just need to be tapped into something else, like have your headphones on or just, immersed in something else, If you can't handle that, I feel like we all have our own wall that we have to build for the stuff that is trying to attack us. Like figure out what's attacking you, whether it's a food, whether it's a drink. I know certain alcohols, like if I'm drinking legitimate wine, I'm good, but if I'm drinking alcohol that has a ton of sugar and ingredients that I don't know about, I feel like crap, and I don't want to do anything because of it. My energy level goes way down, So just question that. Just question that. So, man, but yeah, any questions? Feel free to ask. Let's go down the list of a couple things here. All right. So we have. Let's go with my mixtapes. I feel like I need to explain that a little bit, and leading up to this. So. With my first mixtape, with the old to me, new to you, I felt I did that truthfully, I did that as a response for me breaking up with my my ex-fiance. I'd say like that kind of pushed me in a direction. Not to say I wasn't working on it, but I felt that the pain before I met this woman that I call my twin flame. Before I met her, I did things when it was too late. And that wasn't just regular, like that wasn't just relationships either. Like even classes. I would do classes twice. I would take algebra, flunk it, if not get a D, but then I would take it again and get an A. And I did that through school a lot. So I figured I did that a lot with everything. So with relationships, I would only write about them when it was over. Or maybe I wrote about it when I was in it, but I never said anything. So I would write like, oh, dang, I care about you. You're beautiful. But I never told them that. So what good is it when they're gone, right? Even though like you still should say something, because like I don't regret writing that and saying that. I feel like if you feel like you need to say your piece about something, do it. If you want to write some letters and send them. If you want to just burn the letters, burn them. But I feel like we get it out in whatever medium you choose to get it out in, whether that's music, whether that's running, whether any type of exercise, whether it's and expressive. You could write it, you could sing it. Even if you can't sing, I can't sing, but I still sing anyway. You know, so or do a video game. Maybe you gotta get write some poetry. Maybe you gotta find somebody to do it for you. You know, but whatever type of way it is for you to say something to that somebody you need to say something to, then say it. You know, so me personally, you know, I've gone down the list through the mixtapes and apologized, and also have shown strength as well for various situations I put myself in. And the first tape I'd say came from a place of neediness, and as well as, you know, just trying to prove something, that I could do something, rather than like the second and third one has a message. You know, the Men of Action is the tape I wish like people listen to any part of it, because I feel like it entails the personal struggles that I went through, and I feel like people could pull from that. I feel like, you know, it's a bad side and the good side, and I feel like we need both, like, to be who we are. So I feel like that was, even though that was for other people, that was healing just as much, because I was just, you know, vegging somewhat, and it was just itching me to do it. You know, like, what's itching you? Like, what's itching you? You know, like before 2020, I had to get some music out. I had to like say my piece about, you know, my ex relationship. I had to say my piece about my mother. I had to say my piece about a lot of stuff. Like, what's itching you? Like, what is bothering you at night or any part of the day that you feel like you cannot be happy and get rest because you need to do that? I feel like whatever that is, you need to do that too, because it's this baggage on top that is just, it's poisonous, yo. It really is, man. And I feel like if you carry that around, it's stress is a killer, you know. Like, and going back to the put in stuff. Excuse me, guys. I'm gonna get my phone because I want to read y'all some quotes that I feel like could really help y'all out in the future. Like, please, like, write them down, or just like put it into memory, like, because it will really help. But there's this guy that was a veteran, the oldest veteran for World War II, and he died, I believe last year, a couple of years ago. But I mean, he ate butter pecan ice cream like every day, you know? And like, for me personally, that wouldn't work for me, you know? But maybe it'll work for you. Like, if you feel like that's gonna make you feel good, then that makes you feel good. Maybe you just have to, there's a guy that ate a Big Mac every day. I think he still does. Like, what do you have to do to be able to do that? You know, the mind is so powerful. If you the Wim Hof method, I still got to practice that myself. But just the act of breathing, just breathing alone, like, we don't breathe correctly. Like, I'm not breathing correctly right now. Like, I'm breathing with my chest, but we're supposed to take it in with our belly, and then so much that our chest comes out, and then like we get just a little bit more in our neck, and that's like in our head, and that's how we're supposed to breathe, but we don't. You know, we just breathe with our chest, and we do like little hollow breaths. But just something as simple, just taking a breath and then holding that, and then releasing that. You know, like, give it a shot. You know, and like, I feel like I'm high just personally, just off of air, you know. So and like, just do that. So here's a couple quotes I want to read you guys, and maybe you'll take something from it, you know. And I have a list of books too that I feel like you should read. So you can be right, or you can do right. Practice makes perfect, but you can't practice what you don't know. Where are you at? You know, where are your eyes? You know, put your eyes on what you want. You change by building something new. What's mine is not mine, I manage it. If it's not your job to deliver it, then you won't get to touch it. Power of unity, power of submission, power of spoken words. Sowing and reaping never comes back void. So there's a few of those. I'd be happy to like go into that. Let's see what else I have as well for you guys. Um, Forgive the wait on that. I apologize. Let's see. Simplicity provides a fine line between elegance and plainness. That is another good one. Let's see here. Here we go. Let me see. I apologize, guys. But anyway, I'm gonna try to before I can't find the other ones right now for some reason. But I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of explain like how I feel of the quotes that I've talked about. Oh, I found a lot more. Okay, here we go. So John Maxwell, a lot of these are from John Maxwell. Love the guy. You should definitely read a book or listen to an audio on him. But it's just on leadership, and I feel like we're all leaders, you know. So here's some of the quotes. People think that yesterday's home run will win today's game. I'm guilty of that personally, you know, and I feel like that's the problem with setting goals. Is that for me, I've set goals and I failed most of them. The only goals I've set is being cool today as I'm 25. I'm rebirthed. You know, I've done that. Okay. But tomorrow, then what? Right? Like, I'm going to enjoy, you know, like having this new level head. Right. But if I don't carry, you know, it's a new day. Right. You know, you could have worked out yesterday. You could have done good yesterday. But like, what are you doing today? You know, like, that's why I like my gallon water, or like you could even view any type of thing in your life like that. But I like the gallon water for me because it's representative of my day. So, you know, I would like to drink a whole gallon of water a day, right? But is the water goes down, let's say I don't finish the whole thing of water. Should that mean I stop drinking water? Period. Should that mean that I don't drink anymore for the rest of the day? Should that mean I don't fill it up the next day and start again? No. I should continue to start it up because that's kind of like how a new day comes. You have a new shot to try again. We're all equal in that. We all have 24 hours in a day. Like, what are we going to do with those 24 hours, right? So the water is like you start it up, right? And you start even just making your bed. Just make your bed. You know, don't snooze on your alarm. You know, get up. You know, have a system. Make your bed, and just that alone, you'll feel great. You know, and then my baby told me about this guy that like does a he puts a whole like lemon and squeezes that juice into like some did you say water? I think water. But yeah, you do that and then you drink that and it's supposed to be real hydrating. So that's his functionality. Not to say you have to do that. But you could, you know, whatever gets you up, drink some water. You could have some tea, some coffee, preferably black, or at least like use a sweet, or shoot, if you want sugar, use sugar. I mean, if it makes you feel good, do it. If it does not make you feel good, don't do it. Excuse the like movement. I have it on my legs here, so excuse the movement. But yeah, there's that. My dream is too big for me is another quote from John Maxwell. Your dream should be big. We don't dream as much as we should. We do not dream as much as we should. Why is that? You know, we have these big old dreams when we're younger. You know, I want to own a castle, you know, something like that. You remember like when we shared around in class of our dreams, you know, and they were the most extravagant, crazy things. I want a big old wedding. I want a big old like car. I want to do this, that, and the other. And it's like, it shouldn't necessarily change for in favor of nothing. It should just modify, you know, like if you want a mansion, keep that, but just modify. You either have to modify your lifestyle to the dreams you want if you're dreaming big, or you have to modify your lifestyle to no dreams, right? You know, um, for example, I did want to live in California, and that was my dream growing up. Eventually, I stopped saying I didn't want to live there because I couldn't afford that. So I decided on alternatives like Florida or Texas, San Antonio, just because I wanted something with similar weather, but not quite California. Until there was a point in time that I was like, and I think, and I was thinking like that per se, but when I was lost and I was dating this one girl, she told me like, hey, like, why can't you live in California? So it's just like, why can't we get the dream? Why couldn't I live in California? So then it was like, what do I need to do to live in California? And where I was frustrated was I had after my ex-fiance situation, I felt I couldn't have a good family or financial freedom. I felt like I couldn't have either one of those, and that's a choice that a lot of people have to make. It's a choice that is more popular that I wish. Oh, there you go, baby. Thank you. I appreciate that for you saying that. Whoever just joined back in, thank you for your time. Um, but yeah, that glass of water in the morning thing, that comment there, my lady put that there. Take heed. I need to take heed to that myself, but fruit really helps hydrate. So like infused water is something I definitely need to. With the right fruits, I feel like at work they do like watermelon and grapes and stuff, or not that it's bad, but I feel like I don't know how effective that is, but research. I don't know. Don't listen to me. It could be just as effective, but I feel like a lemon, some grapefruit, stuff like that could help. What was I talking about? We'll go to the next quote since I forgot. But whoever's here, I need you. I can't do it without you. You're indispensable. So took off my glasses real quick. All right. But I can't do anything without you. Like we can't do anything without you. I know it feels like that you don't matter, right? It feels like that. And like it feels like even if you have a small skill such as like you could, balance a plate on your head, like who else could balance it like you? You know what I'm saying? Why do we always say compliment something of somebody's that they didn't make, right? Like you wear a hat, you didn't make the hat, but somebody says, I like that hat on you, or I like your hat. Because it's just like you wear it differently than somebody else could. So it is, in fact, an extension of you, of who you are. So, you're indispensable. You matter to this planet, and you're very important. And I want you to know that. And this is still John Maxwell's quotes. I got so many quotes to read. But you got to have a big team to support a big dream, right? Association. You need that association to be able to get it. Like we can't. Some people could do it by themselves, but you can't do what you really want to do alone. Like unless like that's your journey. You know what I'm saying? If that's like all you want to do is be by yourself and do certain stuff, and you feel that's where you're at home and at peace with, then do that. But I feel like if you have a big dream, to help a lot of people, you need help. You need people that really want to believe in that with you and want to give you that support. That is very important. If you have anybody that's dragging you down, like eventually, even if you're strong at the forefront, eventually those thoughts come in some type of way. It might come through somebody else, and then you're defeated. But keep that good association. Sit down as a student and say, let's grow together. So I'm a student as much as you. I'm not. In times where I might be a leader, there's times you might be a leader. I feel like we all have to have a mentor or a teacher in some aspect in our life to help us be wise, to make certain decisions that we don't have to make ourselves, or even when we do have to make decisions and do certain actions that we shouldn't have to do, then we can go ahead and do that. So that's another thing. It's wonderful when the people believe in the leader, but it's even more wonderful when the leader believes in the people. So it's an extension of what was said previously, but it's servant leadership. It's a hand of steel wrapped in velvet. It's the same thing as like feeding yourself that oxygen, and before you feed somebody else, you know what I'm saying? But even when you're free, even when you get what you want, even when you're not worried about anything, who are you helping? Like who are you helping in terms of like teaching? Each one teach one, right? I'm a big believer in that. Um, the person that made the shot had 10 hands, so I see this a lot. A lot of people give the quarterback. Let's go to sports real quick. Like you got football, you got basketball. You have let's go with individual sports. Even let's go tennis or boxing. Everyone has that person that did everything right. Who taught that person though? Like who taught um, Muhammad Ali? Who was his trainer? You know what I'm saying? Who was Bruce Lee's trainer? Or who, like, whether it was direct or indirectly, who was responsible for that? For a team sport, you got a quarterback, and yes, the quarterback might be the leader, but the quarterback can't do anything without the O line, right? Without anyone blocking for him. Somebody makes a shot. It took the other four people to provide that opportunity. A person's gonna have a hard time going completely 1 versus 5. The quarterback's gonna have a hard time running the ball in with, I think, 11 people running at him, or is it 9 people? I think it's 11, but I could be incorrect. But either way, people that help you get to, like, I believe the terminology might not be totally 100% correct, but you meet the same people on your way up that you do on your way down. Don't treat anybody bad. Like I try to, when I'm out there, and I do better. I'm not fully exempt myself, but I'm proud of myself. Last week there was a homeless guy. Shoot, I'm horrible with names. I could do better. But I asked his name. I feel like even when I give homeless people something, we don't even acknowledge they're there. Like I feel like a lot of people just consider them so less than that they're not people. But it's like they have a name. They're somebody's child. Like there's somebody's something. Like what's their story? Who are they? The janitor, male or female? Does anyone really say thank you? Does anyone shake that person's hand and say, hey, thank you for doing that? Like, I appreciate you for helping this place stay clean. Like I feel like we get so wrapped up in what we deserve that we don't give credit to people that come up with us, that are helping us to have a better life, and even just telling your parents thank you, or please, like just gestures, like go out of your way to show people you care. You feel me? um Go from setting goals to setting growths. So it's the goal thing I was talking about. I've felt a lot of times when I set goals for like sobriety, when I've set goals for things of that nature, it's a lifestyle. It's not just I've gone like 40 to 60 days being sober, but not doing anything else. Like I don't like the stuff I said that makes me feel bad. I don't do anything else about it. I, will be sober, but then I'm still eating fast food every day. I'll be sober, but I'm still speaking negatives about other people. You know, I feel like I'm putting negative energy out there. You know, even with coworkers or something like that, I shouldn't be talking. Whatever beef you have with someone, you should deal with that person individually. Or if it's in a group of people, it's in a group of people. But I feel like so many people, and I'm guilty. Like I'll eat at a bad place, right? And I'll go and sit here and complain to somebody about it, but I never talk to the manager or I never talk to the place. I'd rather go write a review about it instead of like telling them, why do you think there's so many cars or places that are bad out here? Because we don't care enough. Like we're like, oh, it's cool. I like it though, but I'm gonna spend my money somewhere where they don't care about me. You know, like I'm totally guilty of that. Like Call of Duty, for example. I play Call of Duty, but they haven't been treating their community great. But I still bought the game though. So until people like myself stop doing that and supporting people that do not care about them, they're going to continue to make a bad product for the people. We get what we support. So if there's something bad, don't buy it or review it. Let somebody know. Don't just sulk about it. Even in your life, if you have beef with someone, yourself included, deal with it. Like there's a way respectively to do that, but don't discredit that. You know, don't be silent. You know, we all have a voice. Please use your voice. Ask not how long will it take. Ask how far can I go? How far can you go? You know what I'm saying? Like we only have a little bit on this in its existence. How far can you go? You know, like we should finish on E. Like, you know, like when we're done, we should be like, hey, I changed the world. You know, like for me, I can't go meet my maker who, like, again, I believe in God, but whoever the entity is above. Because I feel like, you know, look at the eye, yo. How can that just be created from nothing? I don't understand. Believe me, I love everyone's beliefs. I just personally think that just stuff like the heart, it keeps pumping. How? You know, just stuff like that. I feel like, you know, there's something, you know. So when I meet that something for why I'm down here, I can't sit there and say, oh, I sat there on my bed every day and didn't do anything and I didn't help anyone. I can't do that. I can't even for myself, I can't look at my end of my story and say I didn't do nothing but sit on the couch. I can't do it. I don't know if you can. I personally can't. And I feel like you're special. I want to see your potential too. You gotta want to see that in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Goal setting is finite. There's a finish line. My game is infinite. Who wants to be finished when they're alive? The finish line is death. Kind of along lines of what I was mentioning. But hey, I got my stuff from this. You know, I don't feel like a lot of my stuff is original. I feel like I'm just a culmination of things to exist before me. You know, people protect the people that protect what they have. That's because that's all they have. I'll let you take what you will with that. The dream is free. The journey isn't. There's a price for everything. What are you willing to pay for that? You want to do what I want to do, but do you want to do what I did? You know, this is kind of along of the successful people, you know, like billionaires, millionaires, people that, you know, celebrities even. We all idolize someone, I feel like. I'll speak for me. I idolize a few people, but am I willing to do what they had to do to get in that position? Like there's some, you know, as being an artist, there's some artists that I look up to, but I'm wise enough to look in their situations. Like, look at JoJo, look at Mario. Some artists, you got TLC, you got there's so many artists, and that's why the indie underground scene is so big. And I thank Alyssa for putting me into that a bit. But I feel like when money surrounded around music, we cannot we're paying attention to what the corporate level wants us to not only make but also listen to. Like, why are we listening to the same song 5 times in 2 hours when there is not, let's just go with that one artist. There's so many songs that one artist has. We can't play any other song. And then let's go with how many artists are out there that are saying something with the message, or like, let's just and please don't misunderstand me. I feel like every song has a message, but what message is it trying to portray? Like, it might not be even saying anything. It could just be the instrumental, or they could be verbally saying something, but they're not intentionally saying something. Maybe they just want the producer to shine. Maybe they want the engineer to shine. And they just want the beat to get credit. Like, what is the beat saying to you? You know, like what's the, or maybe the message is underlying. You know, maybe you're listening to something and the message is not obvious. You know, like Childish Gambino, you have This Is America, like the music video for that. They're dancing, they're doing like, you know, the typical stuff, right, that would capture your eye, but you look in the background, you see stuff that you wouldn't have seen, you know. So it's, what we see is just as important as what we don't see. But to the two watching, I'm supposed to be streaming on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it all here. That way, you know, if I decide to deactivate my Facebook or Instagram, that this is still here for you to thrive from. Please feel free to utilize this or anything else from me. It's all here for you. And again, thank you for your time. Another quote. Well, I didn't even finish the quote. Excuse me. How do you spell did? WORK. You know, work. You want me to invest in you, but you haven't invested in yourself. You want me to bet on you, but you haven't bet on yourself. And then we got, you know, I haven't bet on myself until recently. So, you know, you can't expect anyone to do something you haven't done for yourself, you know, in my opinion. The price never stops. The price gets higher as you keep going. So that dream that we set, the dream that you have, baby, the dream that you have. If Rashid, that's you, great. If not, if it's someone else, please feel free to let me know who I'm speaking to. I'd like to know who you are. But if you choose to remain anonymous, that's fine as well. But, you know, like whatever dream you want to do, the toll is going to get bigger as you get closer to it, you know. So are you willing to pay that, you know? And it's easier said than done. Believe me, it is easier said than done. I've pushed a lot of people away just to get where I'm at right now, you know, and I've lost a lot of opportunities per se, but I'm actually where I need to be. So I'm speaking from a place of strength when I normally wouldn't. You know, normally I was a huge woulda, coulda, shoulda individual, that I needed to do this a certain way. And if I didn't do that, then like, oh my gosh, I regret that so much. I wish it went this way. It didn't go the way it didn't go for a reason. And what's going to happen is going to be what you need. So, you know, I could talk about personally how I wish I didn't get cut from the team senior year. I wish I didn't get turf toe, because I would have been in a professional atmosphere. I wish I would have went to Colorado School of Mines. I had 3 or 4 opportunities to go. You know what I'm saying? 2 of which were on a full ride scholarship. The other 2 was just to get into like a bridge program so I could go. There's a reason I didn't make it. There's a reason why I didn't want to do that. No disrespect to the people that are there. I just didn't want to do it. There's a reason that didn't happen like that. For the other people that it didn't work out with me, like if you have any exes or you have any friends or anyone it didn't work out, there is nothing you could have done to make it work out. Like, there's red flags I feel like that we have with these relationships that we should adhere to. And if we do not adhere to, like, even for example, I could even go so serious as to that my last 2 relationships could have been prevented. See what I just said? Could have. But notice 2 of my biggest deal breakers were that they didn't tell their family members where they met me from, which was online, because they were ashamed of that. They weren't proud of that. And it's like, as much as it can be debated that it's on me to relay that information, as the last relationship was when I asked for her hand in marriage, that is when I told them the truth of where we met. As much as it's on the man to take the lead, or the woman in certain circumstances, whatever relationship, someone could take the lead, but also the other person has to be willing to do it too. I shouldn't have been the one fighting the whole time, and that ended up coming back to bite me later, because when I stood up for myself and released my addiction video, if she can't tell her family where I'm from, what makes you think she's gonna sit there and fight them off of who I am? She's not. And so that's what I'm saying, is certain red flags that present themselves, pay attention to them, because oftentimes than not, in my experience, the same thing that concerned me at the beginning that was not addressed came back to bite me later, because I let it steamroll. So pay attention to that, because that is definitely very important. Very important. Death is I'm going to keep going with these quotes. Thank you for your time. Death is the final price you pay. How much that price is determined by how many prices were paid before it. You get what you give. Keep growing. It's about what you're doing, not what you did. The price gets harder to pay when you're not the one that has to pay the price. The loss is greater, however, when you don't. You don't deserve what's at the top of my head. You deserve what's at the bottom of my soul. So I'd like to speak on that a little bit, because this isn't the most organized live stream per se. But I feel like personally, if I had a schedule of this, I couldn't put as much heart into it. Like, for example, with my 3 mixtapes, I had a loose schedule, but I didn't follow it to the T. I know that before 2020, because to be honest, I wanted this, what I'm doing right now, this Rebirth, hindsight is 2020. I wanted this to be my opening mixtape, like an album tier mixtape that represented my rebirth. That's what I wanted. I still got that, but not in the way that I wanted. And that's another thing too, is that the universe is going to give you what you want, that you speak into existence, but not in the way that you want. Because I still found myself, I'm still able to speak from a place of, though I don't look like I did on my junior year, I still, have found myself. I worked internally this time. So I still found that. So I spoke that into existence. I followed a plan of action, though it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to go to college, be graduated, or I could have took the route of going to the Air Force, because I went and took the MEPS. I got an 82 on the ASVAB. I was about to go, but my turf toe helped me, and I could have lied to get in there and just said, oh, I hurt myself in basic training. I could have did that for sure, but I chose not to. And there's certain decisions that we make along the way that, are meant to happen. But I could have, again, could have, but I took, it could have been the road for, I get my degree. I get that. Let's say I did make it in the NBA, NFL, you know what I'm saying? I released this tape, then what, I felt like if I did that, I would have did it for me. I wouldn't be trying to help anybody else, per se. Looking back on it, yeah, that was all me. That's all I wanted for me and me only. It wasn't to help anyone else. It was just, that's what I wanted to do. So, but growing up, I was a class clown. That was another form of escapism. I wanted to make people laugh, but at my own expense. I didn't care about myself. You see my eyebrows that got made fun of. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I was skinny for a minute, The fact that I was a virgin till 17, that was made fun of. The fact that I didn't drink or do drugs, that was made fun of. You know what I'm saying? But I did my dirt too. And but the bigger the hurt, the stronger the healing that needs to be done. Like the bigger the cut, the longer you need to chill and heal. You know? And that was the thing that I had to do with my last relationship too. That I failed in, because I put all I had into that. Or basketball, like getting cut from the team as a senior as a 6'3", 6'4" guy that's supposed to be dunking, getting cut. That's embarrassing. I didn't even want to go to school the next day. I cried. Because I felt that was part of my identity. When I couldn't, when I wanted to go to school because I thought that was my decision, I went from financial aid covering me completely to not at all, because that wasn't my path I needed to take. There's signs. I'm telling you, pay attention. Like, please pay attention. Sometimes it's manifested. Sometimes we create our own problems, because there's a lot of times when I went through the list of apologizing to people that I felt I hurt, a lot of the times they were cool with it. They said they had no bad blood, and it might have been something I've been festering on more than I needed to. A lot of the times it is something that we create that doesn't necessarily matter, but it would have still ate me up if I didn't say my piece about it. But one thing for sure, there was a person in particular, my former roommate that I talk about, that I wanted to apologize to. But she set me up. If someone does something to you intentionally to, cut you off and uses you, you shouldn't make up with that person. But you might want to try. So I tried personally, and every time I tried, I couldn't do it. So the first time, I just wanted to talk in person because I value the relationship more than just letting it die. That didn't work, Okay, I took a certain approach I shouldn't have, because maybe she communicates better via text. I communicate better on the phone or in person. Maybe she communicated better on text. I know I didn't, so my ideas would have been misconstrued. I wasn't comfortable with that. She wasn't comfortable with talking, but yet we lived together for a long time. So, to be fair, if she wanted to say something, she could have. She did not. So the first time, that was that. The second time, I tried again on a different approach. I'm a hard-headed, sarcastic person. I came at her a certain way. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She wasn't playing it. It didn't work. I blocked her after saying that, if I'm the third person that has double-crossed you, it's time to look in the mirror. For example, if the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, can't put the blame on you is legit, I feel. If the same thing continues to happen to you through different people, you are what you allow. With the people that I've been with, no matter the relationship, you are what you allow. You're that association. I've laid down with people that didn't necessarily care like they did, but they did not. And that's why my body count's low, yo. I'm not, the stigma for guys is they're supposed to lay with 500 women. The stigma for girls is they ain't supposed to lay with anybody. I feel like the count doesn't matter per se, but you can't judge somebody that you slept with because you had to be their equal to lay with them. You know what I'm saying? To be able to allow that into your life, you had to become that. All the stuff that I bag, I used to bag on women for, so one chick was married. I bagged on her for being with me despite her being married. But what does that say about me if I didn't set that boundary? Hey, you're married. I'm not going to talk to you because you're married. I mean, eventually I peeled off without saying it because I would like, I didn't feel comfortable dancing with her behind on me, with her being married, you know? Like, I wasn't cool with that. Should I have encouraged that behavior? No, I should not. But what I say on her could be pointing back on me or anyone that's been in a relationship. If I said anything like, oh, you're in a relationship, you know, you're a hoe because you're talking to all these different, excuse my language, you're that because you're talking to these many different guys in a relationship. We're encouraging that. We should have the respect of the other person to be like, nah, I'm not going to touch that because that person has gone through a lot to have that person. And that's, you know, it's like break up. I used to have the whole thing of like, I feel like everyone has an exception, right? I feel like you have that person that you would do something for. Like I wouldn't want a tattoo, right? I hated tattoos. You know, I debatably still don't want one. However, for my other half, I would get one, and we're gonna get one because I love her that much for that. I don't love certain stuff. Like she loves mayonnaise a lot. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I love seeing her enjoy that, right? So it's like, um, where I'm going with that is, you know, find someone that you're willing to do something for that you normally wouldn't. And it teaches you in the right way. Because you don't want to be with somebody that doesn't have similar views at all. Because that's not, your guys are going to smack together on everything. But you don't want to be with somebody that you're like 100% because then you have nothing to talk about. You know, you want that perfect mixture of being different and being the same. We're looking at 11:17 Mountain Standard Time. Uh, I'm doing it till 12, so that's when I'm peeling out. So 3 hours deep. I think that was enough for the person there, but yeah. So, but I appreciate the time. I'm gonna say that real quick. Um, but yes, whether you're watching this live or not, appreciate your time. Yeah, we'll keep going till 12 and 3 hours deep, and we'll call it a day. But moving on, like you gotta find somebody that's willing to do for you what you're willing to do for them. You know, um, thank you, baby. I really appreciate you for riding on this. Whoever's back, appreciate you for coming. If you came before, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. Appreciate your time. We're going until 3 hours deep, so please feel free. There's some gems for you that I'll be happy to share. So yeah, it took a lot to find who I'm with right now. It took a lot. You know, I had a lot of what ifs in the past. You know, I had, when I was with people, I'd be like, okay, well, I got this chick on the side waiting for me. I got that chick on the side waiting for me. What if that worked out? What if that would have worked? You know, what if wow, right? You know, and that's not healthy to have because you're always going to have that. And I did have that with my ex fiance. I hate to say it, I had about a couple more that I was like, dang, we never had our shot, you know? And that was partially what I had to do to figure myself out, was like, I need to get that baggage cut loose, period. You know, I can't be the person I want to be if I'm still, you know, if I'm still like having this on. And same for you too. Like, what baggage are you keeping on? Like what baggage is still on you? Like, what are you not letting go? And why is that? You know, regardless, like, why? That's the question you got to ask yourself, is like, does it matter? And if so, like, what are you going to do about it? You know, or what are you not going to do about it? You know, because I personally learned when I sent those 9 letters to my ex-fiance, I kind of took that from my ex-best friend because she wanted to send a letter my way. She did not send that letter my way, though. And it's like, I know that the person I'm with right now would have sent that letter, you know, but I wouldn't put her in that situation where she had to. See, that's what I feel true love is too, is like, hey, I know she would kill for me. I'd kill for her. I want her to live for me, though. I want to live for her, though. I don't want her to have to hurt. I don't want her to have to go through the stuff that, you know, I had to go through or other people have to go through. And whether, you know, it doesn't, and again, this is like neutral. It doesn't matter if guy, girl, trans, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just like the person you love and want to be with, you should know that they're going to do anything for you, but they shouldn't have to feel like they have to, you know? And I felt crazy because I was like, hey, I want all these people to do this for me. And am I asking for too much? You know, am I asking for too much? Is this unattainable? And sometimes it is. Sometimes you have to like narrow it down, but for what you want, for the person you want in your life, or people, maybe you want more than one, but the people are just you. But set your expectations so high, and even if they don't meet those, you're gonna end up in the stars anyway. You know, I found my moon, you know, shooting for the stars, you know. So I mean, may the same thing happen to you. You could be on the boat but not be the captain. Personally, I'm cool with that. I'm you know, I want to be the captain of my own ship, but in terms of, you know, the association I'm around, I might not be the leader that can take whatever I'm trying to do to the next level. That might be somebody else. That might be you, baby, or that might be you, Rashid, if that's you, man. I could be either one. You know, who knows? But I'd be happy to be on the boat, you know, like we're all going towards what we want to do, towards, you know, who we want to do it with. You know, I'm trying to be where I'm at with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be free with y'all. I'm trying to, you know, experience these places. You know, I want to go into Italy and look at a concert of, you know, that pianist. I don't know how to pronounce his name, forgive me, but there's a pianist I can't see because he only performs in Italy. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to is that Venice or Venice? Forgive me. I believe that's the place where you could only take boats and you can't take anything else. But I want to go there. You know, I want to go to Africa. You know, see, like, you know, see what's up. You know, I want to explore some places. I ain't going to Australia. Except Cindy. Cindy's cool, but I ain't going to the rest of it, though. No, I'm good. If you want to go, be my guest. If you feel, be my guest. That is all you. But I'm not going. Certain parts of the Amazon, you know, but it's just like the option to go, you know. I don't feel like we're supposed to stay like, I'm in Aurora. Like, I feel like Aurora, I love the traffic lights. You feel me? Shoot, that's probably what I'll talk about the rest of it. But there's so much out here. It's a big world. Why are we limited or limiting ourselves to just one place? Unless that's it. If we want to stay, cool. But the choice, though, why not go to another state? Why not go to another city? Why not go to another country? Why not go to another continent? Why not? You know, why are we limited to right here? That's my question. You know, the choice, again, to say yes to the people in your life, including yourself, is what we need to accomplish. That's what we need to do, and to like put in our minds, like we have that choice. We have the choice to make every day, whether we're going to build or we're going to destroy. And they're both just as important. We have people out here that soul's intention is to destroy everything someone else built, to keep us not questioning like what's going on, you know, to not wonder like, okay, why is it that, like, if you don't know you're stuck in a box, you're gonna think everything's sweet, you know. If you don't know you're trapped, Truman Show to a T, you know. If you don't know, if you don't start questioning stuff, you'll never know. And that's just from my own personal experience. So with the, you know, with the last bit, I'll kind of go into my own stuff, you know, like my own original thoughts, which will be, you know, traffic lights. I love traffic lights. I've always loved traffic lights. You could ask my father when I was younger in the back seat. I would always go lights, you know, I'd be looking at these different traffic lights, and you ask, well, why traffic lights? Because I feel like there's so many, everyone runs into them somehow, somewhere, right? And I feel like that I can't speak for you two, but I've had every emotion at a traffic light. I've had anger. I've had frustration, sadness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dang, I was trying to like get through that light, but I couldn't. You know, anxiety or excitement because maybe that light turned red, but I'm gonna run it anyway. You know, or you get a line of green lights. How good do you feel when you've caught every green on the way to work, or you've caught every green on the way home, or to someone you care about? How frustrated are you when you catch every red? You know, how and it's like with that, it's interesting, really, you know, like, and I feel like road rage is coupled with that, and I struggle so big with road rage because I can't control what someone else is gonna do. You know, I can't, and as much as I've garnered um information and knowledge on traffic lights, I still don't know. It's gonna stay green as long as it's gonna stay green till. I might think it should stay longer, but it can turn red anytime. I might think it turns red, but it stays green. It's just a representation of where we're supposed to be. I feel like traffic lights are a very great representation of where we're supposed to be. I feel like that, you know, we're gonna do what we're gonna do. If we get in an accident, or if we're like we catch a red, we're meant to catch that. You know what I'm saying? If we catch a yellow, we're meant to catch that. If we catch a green, we're meant to catch that. If we're meant to, like, you know, shoot, maybe the car breaks down. I feel like anything transportation related is just kind of a live version of like chance. You know, we're all rolling the dice, you know. We're all rolling the dice. So baby, since it's just you know what I'm saying? Like, you got any questions? I'm gonna keep going, but maybe you have some questions you want to ask me that, you know, regardless of how much we talk, maybe there's something I haven't answered. Maybe there's something you want to know. I'd be happy to answer your question because I believe that's you. So if not, I'm gonna keep going. But maybe you can speak for yourself or other people with some stuff you want to know, and I'd be happy to answer that. But yeah, guys, girls, lads, I just feel there's too much out here that we're focused on rather than like what's important. And we just like, thank you for your input anyway, baby. I appreciate that. I just feel like we have so many things we're not concerned about. You know, like, tell me why for holidays, right? You know, we use these holidays as a means to celebrate what's important to us, right? Like, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have Valentine's Day, we have Independence Day. We could go down the list of holidays, but we have, let's go Thanksgiving, right? Why should we only be thankful on Thanksgiving? Why can't we be thankful every day? Why can't we just thank somebody? Why can't we be thankful for the food we get when we get it? Why can't we be thankful for us not getting the food? Why can't we be thankful for someone that's important in our lives at the time of origin versus like, okay, only Thanksgiving. Or like we could talk about church even. You know, you're only thankful at church, you're only good at church. You leave church and it's time to party. You know, Christmas, you're giving presents to people. Why can't you give presents to them the rest of the year? Holidays are important because it reminds us what's important, but we shouldn't wait until just the holiday to celebrate. Why wait until Independence Day to be independent? I know it's celebrating our nation's freedom, but we're not even free. We're imprisoning ourselves. Yes, yet other people from other nations still want to come, but we're still imprisoning ourselves. It's just an interesting situation. Black History Month, yes, February, right? Great month. Why do we need a month? We haven't gotten our reparations, but why can't this just be part of normal history? Why do we need our own month for it? I see why a month is created. I see why Juneteenth was created. I get it, but it's like I feel like we keep tearing each other down. Number one, excuse me. You know, I was told I was too. I didn't talk black enough. You know, I don't act black enough. You know, what is that? What is that? I don't understand. You know, this is to my people, man. Like, whoever joined in, thank you. I appreciate your time. It's gonna get kind of a little crazy in this last half an hour. I'm just gonna talk about my struggles as an African American, not in a position of weakness, as if like poor little me, you know, like I'm subjugated to stuff. No, it's more just like I'm touching on being in the middle because I understand that our people need a helping hand, but at the same time, that's all we want. I feel like we are all like everyone wants a handout, and we're all trying to attack each other. I just got gypped off of a phone from an African American. You know what I'm saying? We're more worried about like who's got the best shoes. A lot of people judge me because I'm with a white woman. You know what I'm saying? I've been judged because I'm been with a white. Why aren't you with your sister? Why? Because every time I've tried to be with an African American woman, I've been judged because of that. Because I don't have the Jordans. Because I haven't gone to prison. I haven't gone to jail. Because I'm not, you know, I don't know how to crip walk. You know, because this and that and the other, and this is not indicative of every African American woman. You know, not every African American woman is looking for that. But I'm just going off of my own experience that I've been ostracized by my own people as much as, if not more than, Caucasians in my life. And we could go with other minorities as I put my post about, you know, being called what I've been called, you know, but the N word, that's a whole nother conversation too, because it's just like, okay, we need to figure out, like, it doesn't matter, okay, really who is saying it and what variation of it is being said. It doesn't matter if it's with an ER, it doesn't matter if it's with an A, it doesn't matter if it's with if you know, Caucasian, Asian, Mexican, Islam. It doesn't matter who. What's the belief system behind that though? Like where did the word come from? I believe it came from Negus, which is Egyptian. You know, like that's what they called each other for kings, right? I could be wrong. We would have to research that. I believe it was turned into a different phrase with the ER after during slavery. And even now, the A at the end is it's really versatile. It could be used as in term of endearment, such as the Negus and the Egyptian one, or it could be malicious like the ER, or it's very versatile. But I feel like its versatility can cripple us as well. Us as a whole people, not just us as, you know, black people. I feel like, people can say it here, but we can't say it there. People can, even black people might be questioned, like if you're an Oreo, like if you're black but you're white on the inside, like you don't have it, you have it out for your people. Can you say it? Why do we have to give people a pass to say a word? Like it's the most controversial word, I feel like, in my opinion, out here. More so than any other slur that any other race or gender or predisposition has. Because it's so misunderstood. We even have elder generational people and current generational people, and even lesser than, in terms of like age, that don't understand the word. So we're sitting here fighting each other on this. It's like, I feel like we all need to sit down and understand what this word means. Why should we or should we not say it? Because I feel like, yes, we can own the power, and I get that side of it. You own the power and you say it, and it takes away the right for someone else to use it. But we are not all on the same page. But it shouldn't matter anyway. I feel like the definition of it, one of them, is ignorant person. I feel like we're all ignorant of something. I'm ignorant of something that you two don't know. Like I'm ignorant of something you two know, and vice versa. There might be stuff you don't know about that only I could tell you about. You know what I'm saying? Why do I have to dress a certain way? Why do I have to talk a certain way? Why? Because there's one thing I've had to do is alter my voice so I don't seem like I'm intimidating to other people. Why is that? Why do I have to limit how I talk in order to avoid sounding ignorant and stupid to another person? Why do I have to do that? Why do people feel like they have to do that despite the race? Why do I have to speak in layman's terms and slang? Why can I not do that as well? I feel like English, though any language, I feel like we have a level of form that we must keep, just to keep order. I understand that, like law, right? But I feel like we have to have a certain level of, hey, every person is different. And somebody else's kindness might be somebody else's disrespect. Like if I call you sir, that might be disrespectful to you. If I call you ma'am, that might be disrespectful to you, despite I feel it's a respectful term. It goes back to that lack of understanding that I feel like we don't have as people. So it's me personally, it makes it really difficult because it's like I would like to go to I would like to go to Chirac. Do you know how many people are dying over there right now, or just in any hood, just any people? How many people are dying all over the world over some nonsense? Over, especially our people, a block. Why are we dying over a block? Buy the block back. Go to school. Okay, create your own business. Work a trade. Buy your own block back, and then teach other people to do the same thing. Why are we shooting people? It's like we just have everything on a platter in front of us. We have these tools that can just erase a life. We have social media, which is a great tool, but it's also a detrimental tool because we have it served to us on a platter. We could just go date somebody, right? Like, we don't like who we with, we're just gonna look on the app and we got that served right in front of us. Like, we don't consider each other people. It's difficult to look someone in the eye now. It's weird to call someone by their name. We're to that point. And I just don't understand, when did it become taking a life? I mean, back in the day, like, you know, I'm talking prehistoric times, it was a whole event. Like, in order to kill somebody, you legitimately had to, like, you had to win that bout. It was like you had to beat each other to death. Like, and that was the thing, you know, to get your food, you had to salvage high and low. You had to stay still for hours. And I peak game some of this from Alyssa, you know, my baby, you know, like, um, I, but it's like we had it so much more difficult, and that allowed us to live in peace, right? Versus now, we go to the store, we get what we want easy. We um, we got we used to be able to we have to uh, really plan a trip to go from one end of the nation to the other, you know, and that could take forever. You had a telegram. Like, I forgot about telegrams, but, like, you know, the messages that sent on a horse or something like that, that, like, you had to wait, whew, a long time for. I'm talking like weeks, if not months. And if that one message didn't get to that nation or person, it was over, you know. But now we got text messaging, we got instant stuff. So it's just like all this exposure to this instantaneous communication or instantaneous gratification is what is allowing people like myself to become numb to not only people, but to experience and to take things for granted. So we need to take a step back for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a time where we just need to back off, you know, like, let's write. Like, I text, you know, even for my mixtapes and stuff, I texted a lot of that. I barely wrote anything, but write something, like, write it out, you know. Even nonverbal communication, you know, like just saying what's up, or like you got that little nod you do for respect, or perhaps, you know, you roll your eyes, or maybe, you know, you turn your body away if you don't want to talk to somebody. Just subtle cues. But, you know, we should all just, like, really understand and accept that we take our senses for granted. I mean, I I could complain about glasses, but I can at least see you. Even if it's blurry, I can see you. I shouldn't take that for granted. And, like, that's why I do some weird stuff where I close my eyes to hear something sometimes. And but I like to appreciate the senses I have. I feel like sometimes we should, you know, wear some plugs, not hear anything. Perhaps some gloves, and see how important touch is. You know what I'm saying? When you burn your tongue and you, like, can't taste anything, or you're stuffy, how important is taste? How important are all of our senses? You know, and I was looking at this video on YouTube a couple days ago, actually, where these people are doing amazing things. You know, like, you got some people that could cut, you know, watermelons, like, in, like, a whole watermelon in like 10 seconds, you know. And it's like being efficient. You know, we could all work hard, but how are we being efficient with that? You know, like, it's kind of like you're rowing a boat as hard as you can, but you're barely going anywhere. Whereas if you barely try to row, you might not do it. But where's that balance at? You know what I'm saying? Hey, for me personally, why I want to go so hard doing what I can is because somebody out there's got less than I got and is working harder than me. What excuse do I have with 4 fingers and a thumb, 2 eyes? I got my heart, I got my ears, you know what I'm saying? I got teeth, I got a tongue, I got what I got a roof over my head, I got clothes on my back, you know, I got a bed to sleep on. I do have a car. I do have food to be able to eat. I could walk in the kitchen and get some food. Some people don't have that. I live in America. A lot of people don't live in America. Even a lot of people want to escape. And if you want to do that, that's you. I feel, but there's a reason why so many people want to come here. But I'm saying we live in a good society where we don't have to, like, I have the choice to be able to believe what I want to believe in without getting my head cut off. I still got my father around. Despite the relationship we had, I still got that. Despite all my past grievances with, my exes and friends, I got the person riding with me in here. Despite all the people that I've turned away, I got you, Rashid, up in here. If it's not you, someone else. I've got the other people that even took time to look at me, talk to you, to allow me to pour into you. I could sit there and complain all the time about that, but I appreciate you two so much for just listening and allowing me to pour into you. You didn't have to be here, and I would be fine just talking to myself for 3 hours. But having people to be here for me is cool, because I'm here for y'all. And that's what I wanted this to be. I'm here for y'all too. I'm here to open your mind. I'm here to, like, pour into you, just because the stuff we worry about it doesn't matter. It does not matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't. It's like, but what does matter? And it's easy to get lost in that. It's easy to get lost in, hey, what I do doesn't matter. It's easy to get into that type of thinking. It really does. But, just as simple as you're in line at the grocery store, what I'm saying, and regardless of how they take it, just you saying, like, you smiling at them, even just that can brighten up their day. And that could cause, every voice we create has an echo. Every force we create has an echo. There's nothing that we do that goes undone. So that person you made smile, they could make 20 other people smile. Those 20, shoot, they could go home and feel happy and go cook their families a good meal. Another one could go and give somebody that's homeless $5. That homeless person that has $5, they could go and feed their group, even if it's not a lot. Like, just something so small. Or on the negative, you're grumpy, right? You make somebody else grumpy. If they weren't grumpy before, they are now. Now they're going to go ahead and make their team grumpy. Now somebody's mad and they can't focus in it. Maybe they do the final stint on their marriage that puts the nail in the coffin, and they get a divorce. We don't think about what we do like that. We really don't. It's so easy to get caught up in ourselves, but we really don't understand, like, what we do has an effect. It really does. So, like, when we put positivity out there, it can't do nothing but come back to us. But if we put negativity out there, it's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. And, like, even if it does hit us, we're supposed to get that. We're supposed to get that and match that with positivity. There's a reason why they say love kills hate, not hate. There's a reason why they say you fight fire with water, not fire. It feels good. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't feel good. To sit there and, like, somebody cusses me out, I'm cussing them out right back. I'm not going to sit there and tell you it doesn't feel good. I got into a road rage incident, like, nearly, like, I think 2 months ago. And I told my girl I apologized for even putting her in that, like, situation, but I knew when to pill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't know when to pill out. Your actions could affect other people, and that's, like, I would like to apologize right now, just in general, because there's a lot of stuff I've done that, like, has put people in certain situations where they might have had to defend themselves in a way they shouldn't have. However, in the same breath, I am definitely proud of what I've done too, because there's a lot of areas where a lot of people wouldn't have been able to do anything if I didn't either, and vice versa. I wouldn't have been able to be who I am if it wasn't for people pouring into me. Who knows if I would have spit all this, like, good stuff if y'all two weren't here. Who knows? But I knew I needed to be here to help somebody. I know there's people out there I need to help. There's people I need to touch. There's people you two need to touch too. I just want y'all to know y'all matter, man. Straight up. Straight up. And like Nipsey. I love Nipsey Hussle, man. It's just that whole thing of like, we got to understand, a lot of people trip on poor people, right? Like, get yourself out. But if you don't even have, like, people talk about people not having not peeing in a pot, but you don't even give them a pot to pee in, and they don't even know they have an option to create a pot, So that's what I'm saying, is like, we all start at different points. We all have our own finish line. We all have our own material that we start with. And that's a whole nother conversation on, like, I feel like we have multiple lives. I feel like we started as something, and I feel like to get here right now, like, I feel like we are experiencing it for a reason, whether we did dirt in the past life, or maybe we didn't, and maybe this is it, and like we figure it out, or maybe this is the beginning of things to come. Who knows? I don't know. I could act like I know, but the fun part is, the more we learn, the more we realize we don't know. And even though that's frustrating, I can live with that. But I'll be darned if I don't try. If I don't try to find out as much as I can to be able to help somebody else, or to help myself, or to be able to receive help. Because sometimes you need help, and that could be in many ways. I needed help. I still need help. And as much as you need help, somebody else does. Somebody's waiting on you, yo. Somebody's waiting on you to be like, walk into their lives. They're like, hey, I need something. I need an answer. Somebody's waiting on you. The whole world's waiting on you. Like, how are you going to do that? How are you going to pour into it? Again, I don't care what medium it is. Which one? Do the best you can with it. You know what I'm saying? Really reflect on your life. Where are you going? Just stop. Where are you going? Sometimes you got to back up out of something. Like, I had to go all the way nearly towards the end of something to be like, this isn't it, Chief. And it hurts going back. There's a lot of times it was dark and I didn't feel like I was making the right decision. But I created that because I went so deep into that direction that I had to go through such drastic measures to pull myself out. Because let's say I went with my ex-fiance, right? I wouldn't have taken the same route I did today, and I probably would have resented her and her family for, excuse me for pointing. I'm just real passionate about this. But sure, under a perfect world, we would have been happy, right? But deep down, I would have known there's people out here, myself included, that I didn't say because I'm too worried about somebody else. And I feel like so many people settle. So many people are scared of the unknown and don't do anything about it. It's so easy to do too. I almost did it. I was almost lost. At times I almost committed suicide. At times I put a knife in my chest and could have pushed, but I didn't. At times I could have took a gun and said, that's it. You know what I'm saying? At times, I can't even say the times y'all felt something like that. But it's like, what we got to do out here, we got to make that choice every day. Guys, we got to make, and lady, we got to take that, or both ladies, we got to take that. We got to take that opportunity to evaluate our life every second, okay, and ask ourselves, where are we going, And sometimes you gotta, my favorite, like, I love, anime. I love Bleach, man. I could go on, like, I love Dragon Ball. I love Spider-Man is my favorite, like, comic book hero. I love, Dragon Ball. I love Naruto. I love Bleach. The reason why I love those are my favorite is because there's a message behind it, especially Naruto and Bleach. Naruto shows, Naruto and Sasuke are my two favorite characters because they help each other. They have two different lifestyles, and one went I'm not going to spoil everything, but basically one went above and beyond to save the other person. Bleach, it's like Ichigo, I'd say, is my favorite character. Byakuya is my second favorite. Is because these two characters, one, basically Byakuya lost his wife, and he dealt with that a certain way. Ichigo saved him essentially, but he lost his wife. His wife's sister was the only piece to her he had left, and he like treated her bad as a kind of way to like get rid of her, to kind of like to get rid of that. You try to get rid of people sometimes because you feel like you don't deserve good in your life, and you do. But it's really easy to do that. It's really easy to push people away. And I say Ichigo's my favorite character because he has two sides. He has his hollow side and he has his self. And it's like, it's beautiful because that hollow side is that dark side of you that can envelop you and swallow you. But that dark side needs your good side just as much. And if you just do the good side too much, there's a lot of opportunities that mess up as well. A combination of both is really what is needed to be the best version of you that you can be. There's some stuff for your bad side that you need to have out here, because there are people trying to take your energy. There's people trying to take you down as much as there's people trying to help you. But you got to have, even the people you love are going to test you. You're going to test you. Don't even trust yourself. You got to have that foundation and strength to be like, hey, I'm not taking that stuff from no one, myself included. But you also have to be kind enough to be like, this person doesn't know better, and to help them. But trust yourself. Fall in love with yourself. That's all I got to say. That's how I've gotten to where I've gotten, is falling in love with myself. Learning to love the bad stuff. Learning to love the stuff you cannot fix. I'll tell you, is being a 6'6" dude, African American, my little guy down there, you're supposed to be like my arm, right? It's not. That's a stereotype, right? I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with like not having his white teeth. I could change that though, but I have teeth not to be white. You know what I'm saying? We just got to be grateful. We just got to be grateful for what we do have, what we can change, and accept the things we cannot change. We cannot change how somebody else acts. I can't change what you two decide to do with this. I love that you two are here, but I can't decide what you decide to do with this. That's up to you. But it's like, be your own lottery ticket. Stop putting, me too. Stop. We got to stop putting our belief system into other things that don't care. We got to stop counting on something else to save us. When there's some things we got to save ourselves on. My favorite hero could be Spider-Man or Ichigo or whatever. Why can't it be me? Save yourself. Be your own hero. Be your own celebrity crush. Be your own inspiration. Be that person to yourself first, and your actual person, whoever that is going to come too. That's how I found her. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no one else in my life, is going to sit there like that. You know what I'm saying? So that is some actual proof of like, if you put the work in, you're going to get something from it. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you what that something is, but it's going to come back to you in some way, shape, or form. Just put that good into the world, man, woman, and it's going to come back. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of y'all. I couldn't be where I am without the negative and positive experiences that made me to be who I want to be. And to y'all, no matter who it is, thank you. Thank everyone that's made me be who I am. I'm 25 years old. I can say I know where I'm going in life. And I want you to, I want everyone else to join me. I'm joining y'all. And we're going to change this. We're going to change it. We're going to do what we need to do. And we out of here, man. We're going to help our families. We're going to say yes to the causes and people that we want to say yes. And do that too. We're not going to just be inspired, but don't let that go. Find that passion, build that passion, and keep that passion despite the grind that it's going to take to get it done, because it's going to be worth it. You give to the poor and to the stuff that needs it. What you're expecting, if you take the eyes off of what you're expecting, it's going to come back tenfold, like, no, infinitely. You'll never have to want for anything else. If you put oxygen on yourself, then put yourself last, save everyone else, you're good. Like, that's all you need. So I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much. I love y'all. I love y'all's families. Save them. Save yourself. You know, you matter. You're very important. So God bless. If you wish that upon yourself, take it easy, y'all.